How's everybody doing tonight? Good, I hope. Well, let's start with the hellos. So it looks like the first one in here was Illinois Central Railroad man. Thomas, how you doing? Dundas Junction Model Railroad. James, how you doing? And let's see, Indian Head Valley River Railroad. I don't know where I could get that river from. Hey, Wilmer, good to see you. Let's see who else we got here. Hey, Artie from Awesome America Model Railroading. And who else? Kyle Stevens. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? Good to see you. Nathan DeLay. Hey, Nathan. Always good to see you. How's it going, my friend? And let's see who else we got here. Boxcar Jerry. Hey, Jerry, long time no hear. Let's see. Lehigh River Subdivision. Hey, Ian, how you doing? Let's see. Anybody else here? We're scrolling down. Hey, Schuylkill River Valley. Hey, John, how are you? Good to see you here. Oh, Joe Rader. Hey, Joe Rader, Black Rock Central. Good to see you too, Joe. And Wigwag Workshop. Hey, Stephen, how are you? Long time no hear. Martin Searsma, good to see you. Yeah, I finally got dressed. Let's see who else we got here. DWN Trains. How you doing, DWM? Good to see you. Manny Fernandez. Hey, Manny, how you doing? And Georgia Sunbelt. Hey, Anthony, good to see you. And we're caught up. Imagine that. Oh, ELSDP 45. How you doing? Alrighty, so I'm still working out all the bugs on this OBS things, but so far so good. I gotta figure out how to do the show it later thing so I can set it up earlier and then have it automatically come on. I'm working on that. Hey, Curly Express, Dwight, how you doing? So, anyway, we're going to be working on these things right here. Let me change cameras briefly. These, I don't know how well you can see these. These are the mile markers that in some cases are used to mark the turnouts. So you know which turnout number is assigned to each one. These are pretty cool. So I'm going to put some decals on these a little later. We'll work on that. And for all you guys in Florida, unless you plan, I mean, I wouldn't drive all the way down there if you were out of state, but the U.S. Sugar, they are now doing a passenger train, you know, like a tour. It's a little pricey, but it's pretty cool. They've got their steam engine number 148, and it looks like it might be a lot of fun. I can't afford it right now. It'll have to wait a while. Hey, Crooked River and Eastern Railroad. Hey, Dave, how you doing? So anyway, I'm going to bring that up here on the screen. We'll see what we got going here. Now, they're going to be starting this, let's see when, pretty soon here, I believe. October 1st. And let me scroll up here a little bit so you can see that. Like I said, it's a little pricey. $148 per person for each ticket. It's a 2-hour, it's an all-day long outing to Lake Placid, Florida. I believe it originates in Clewiston. And they have a 2-hour layover in Lake Placid and then that return trip. It says per sale starting on September 16th at noon. So you can get your tickets early if you want to. I wish they would lower the price a little bit. That's really pricey. They also have a 3-day package will be available for $400 beginning October 5th. So you can get on this website here, which, let's see if I have the link for it here somewhere. I can't see it, but there we go. Let me see if that shows up on there or not. Yeah, here's the link up here. So you can see the link on there, and it's pretty neat if you're into steam engines, and if you're in the area, like I said, it might be worthwhile to come check it out. I went last year, well, last Christmas. They had it out there, and it was dressed up for Christmas, so I didn't ride it because I didn't have the money. But we went down to Clewiston, checked it out. I posted pictures up on my website. You can check them out. It looks like it'd be a lot of fun though if you can afford it, so you might want to check that out. Alrighty, so that takes care of that. That's the train news of the day. For all those who are interested, the train strike that was supposed to start tomorrow, I believe, has been averted. They did reach an agreement, so there will be no strike tomorrow as far as I know. That's a good thing. I'm not sure how what they agreed to or what the circumstances were, but from what I read in the newspaper, they will not be going on strike tomorrow, which is a good thing. Hey, NS5107, Chazco, how you doing, Chaz? So that's something to look forward to, because I think that would have been a big problem had they gone on strike. And I don't know if that would have affected any of the short lines or not. Probably not. I know it was going to affect Amtrak and possibly some of the subway systems like up in New York and Chicago. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll be listening. Got to bathe little one. Oh, that's always fun, bathing the little ones. I remember those days all too well. Although that was quite a while back for me. Joe Rader says the head clown in D.C. is taking credit for that. Of course he is. You know, he should be really taking credit for all the problems he's caused in this country. That's what he should be taking credit for. But I did my rant earlier, so I'm not going to do it again now. Hey, Rail Artist, how you doing? The special train to Lake Placid, Florida sounds good, except that my wife's sister and her hubby live there. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Like I said, if it was, I wish they'd bring the price down. It was like $40-45 a person. I would do it in a heartbeat. But that's a lot of money to throw down, $148. Which is funny because that's the road number on the steam engine, 148. I don't know if that's coincidence or they planned it out that way or not. Let's see. Nathan says, in my opinion, not to sound mean about it, I wouldn't want to take a train ride if it was too expensive. It feels easier to ride a cheaper train ride from somewhere else that's not. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Nathan. That's a lot of money. I don't know how. They did the same thing last year with the Christmas train. And it was literally empty. I think there might have been 2 or 3 people on board. So obviously, it was too expensive. But everybody, the thinking down here is if you're down here in South Florida or Central Florida, you must be rich. News for you, we're not. Some might be, but not me. But still, it'd be kind of cool though. I'd love to ride it, but not at that price. Let's see, Artie says, we have our train drivers and rail staff striking here. They're not stopping train operations now. They're giving us free rides, refusing to take money for tickets. That's weird, but cool. I guess that's one way to strike, huh? Of course, that would only work on passenger vehicles, passenger trains. Freight, well, how would they handle that on freight, so. That's still pretty cool, though, in a way. Let's see, Joe Rader says, I paid $500 for riding a B-29 World War II bomber. That would be worth it. That would be very cool. That would be like the flight of a lifetime, I would think. I mean, there's some things that are worth the money and other things not so much, I mean, for what? $10 million, you can get a ride up in one of Bezos's rockets and go up in outer space. Well, sort of outer space for what, 3 minutes? And it's only $10 million, right? Kyle says the only steam engine I would ride behind is 614, which we all know that will probably never happen. Yeah, you never know. Probably not likely, but anything's possible. Nathan says the only thing I would rather do if I was taking a ride, for example, I would rather ride on Reading and Northern because the prices, I believe, are fair from the cheapest to the expensivest. That's a cool word, expensivest. Well, and you're probably right. Like I said, I think the problem down here is it's kind of a novelty, and I think they're going to figure out eventually that if they can't fill their passenger cars with people, they're not really making any money, and the only way they're going to do that is to make it affordable for everybody. Like I said, I'm thinking $40, $45 a ticket would not be that bad, So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Artie says our rail staff are getting heaps of support from the public as it's shoving it up our new governor who is making a mess of this state. There you go. We got the same problem here, Artie. Don't feel bad. And Nathan says, and it's not just because I like it, it's because of more available. One time I was on a train ride for 21021. Oh, 21021, okay. Bought a train shirt while I was on the train, and that was worth it for me. There you go. Yeah, like I said, it's all, whatever you can afford or whatever you're into. Got a point, Jim. Whoever thought we could ride behind a big... Well, that's true. That's what I'm saying. Anything is possible, Right now, things are not looking real good because the idiots we got in Washington, but eventually that's going to be corrected, hopefully, and things will get back to normal, maybe even more affordable then, and, we'll see. I think it's great that they're bringing these old engines back out of, or back into service, because they really need to. Artie says, I'm taking a free ride up to the Blue Mountains next Wednesday and to take a ride on the V-Set electric passenger train before it's taken out of service. That's cool. They're gonna take it out of service. Oh, that kind of sucks. Joe says, hope it starts in November. Yeah, you and me both. Between you and me, if things don't go well in November, it might be a real bad Christmas. We may find ourselves at war. You never know. But I have a feeling that the Republicans are gonna take over both houses. I'm pretty sure. And then you'll get to see the real magic happen after that. So, that's the train news for the day. That's all I found out about anyway. Yeah, let's see. Let's look at the trains while we're going here. Well, no, it's not because I got the music on. Plug the music on. We'll just do this for right now. All right, so let me switch cameras here again. All right, now we got the overhead on. These are the markers, and like I said, they're being used. These sets are getting replaced by Chinese-built double decks. Rail stopper striking over. The Chinese are taking over everything. They really need to just do something about that. These mile markers, they were originally 4-mile markers. And Tom Grassi decided to use them as numbered identifiers for his turnouts, for his DCC control, I would assume. It's a really neat idea. So he posts one in front of each turnout. All he has to do is glance up at it, see the number. He knows what number to type in on his cab. So Dave Thurber from Crooked River and Eastern, he wants the same thing, so I'm making him some. And Anthony from Georgia Sunbelt, he's also going to do the same thing, so I'm making him some. So And I'm printing these because they come out better when you print them. So these are all printed out or have the appropriate number, and then I have, I don't know how well you can see that, probably not well. I have the decals that I printed up, and after I separate them, like this one right here, I'll grab it with a pair of tweezers after I put my glasses on, because I'm blind, and I'll dip it right in the water here for a second or two. Nothing to this, it's not rocket science by any stretch. And basically we'll just set it right on top here. Slide a little bit with my finger if I can. We're having a difficult time here because, like I said, until I get my eyes corrected. There we go. Got the paper off of there, and then we'll and that's it right there. I don't know, like I said, I don't know how well you can see that. Let me switch cameras again. And we're gonna pick this up and yeah, really, it's kind of tough to see. This one on the right there underneath the cursor. Like I said, there's nothing to it, and I let them dry. And then afterwards, I'll spray them with a clear coat, and they'll be all set. And you can glue a stick on the back of it. Like, you can actually use a toothpick, break it in half so it's only that long, and then stick it down in your foam, and you have a self-standing sign. It's a neat idea, and if anybody wants one, I charge 20 cents a piece for them, and that includes the lettering. Now, they're actually gray. I paint them white to one side, but I could paint them any color you want. But, well, I can actually, it has to be something that black lettering will work, or black numbering will work on, because I don't have the capacity to do white numbers, unfortunately. But other than that, they're pretty cool. And they look better white anyway, like I said, with the numbers on them. So that's the way to go. Let's see what's going on in the chat here. I haven't been paying attention to the chat when I'm doing this. Let's see. Back up a little bit. Chaska says you put on a shirt for this stream. Yes, I did. For you guys who weren't on here, I was doing a test earlier and I didn't have a shirt on. And for the few guys that were on there, they kept saying, "Are you naked over there?" I said, "No, I'm not naked. I'm just not have a shirt on because I wasn't actually planning on being online for more than a minute or two. It was just a test. I wound up staying on here for what, an hour and a half, I think? You know. Yeah, we had fun anyway. Let's see, the V sets are getting, I read that already. Nathan says, I just think in my opinion railroads should have more available access for ideas from very cheap and extra, just in case if it's more expensive for the high quality like a house, for example. That makes sense. Tombstone's cool. Yeah, they kind of look like tombstones, don't they? Uh-oh, I heard something bad here. Did we have a derailment? No, it's still moving. I don't know what that noise was. Let's see. Yeah, whole lot of tombstones. Yeah, if they were a little wider, they would make, you could make tombstones out of them. I could make those too, make them a little thicker and wider. You know, I printed the ones from my graveyard anyway. They're actually quite similar, except that I didn't design those. So when is Dave coming to town to pick them up? Well, I'll have to mail them to him. He's a little far away for picking up something like that. Let's see. And all right, dinghies. Well, okay. Anthony Dodge's figures. Oh, that's for Anthony Dodge's figures. You know, the ones he amputated. I'm thinking you meant fingers. Okay. Where are you going to take a ride on American Model Railroad? Is Reading and Northern for 2102. Sometimes when people say Blue Mountains, that's the name of school I used to go to. Oh, that's cool. Yes, I do have a cattle car, and it has noise. It has voice in it. The cow voices. I got a good microphone. If you actually heard that. I thought it was a cool thing. You can either do cow or sheep. I decided to go with the cows. Let's see what else here. I hear a cow. Thought you had chickens. I have a cow in the cattle car. I'm going to get a chicken car and put a chicken sound card in it. I don't know when that's going to happen, but they do make them. So I'm going to get one at some point. Let's see what else we got here. Hey, Split Rock, how you doing? Good to see you. And Plumber, good to see you too, Plumber. And Gerald Stewart, hi y'all. Let's see what else we got going on here. Nathan says they also remind me of the shape of windows and just being in a cemetery sometimes. Yeah, they could be window shapes, you're right. But made them out of clear, and I actually have clear filament. I could actually print windows, clear windows. So yeah, I never thought about doing that. That's actually a pretty good idea. Jessica says I like sheep. They are not bad. Stu Structures, hey Stu, how you doing? Had a few minutes ago, just stopping by. Well, that's cool, man. Always good to see you. Let's see what else here. Good to see so many friends out here. Wish I had more time. Well, you know, you can always watch the replay, I guess. That's better than nothing. Huh. That train's running awful slow. Now it just stopped. I don't know what's going on there. I must have had a problem that I haven't seen yet. And I'm going to shut it down for a minute until I can figure out what's going on. That's weird. Probably the gremlins. Let's see. Ballast on the track. Yeah, it could be. You never know. Cows weighing it down. There you go. Anything is possible. I don't know. Every now and then, I'll have a problem on the corner on the curved turnout, and it's probably right about where the loco is right now. So I'd have to get up. It would be a nuisance to get up there and take care of it right now. I'm not going to. Let's see. Stu says I'm just about ready to go to get back to some builds. It's getting there. Cool. It's life, Mark. We know it best. Absolutely. Maybe it is cow pies. We'll slip on cow poo. There you go. Oh, you guys got a good imagination anyway. Those longhorn steers are pretty heavy. There you go. Oh, man, that's crazy. So, honestly, I still haven't done anything in here. I mean, I'm really procrastinating badly. You have poo-poo on the choo-choo. Good one, Dave. Oh, that's bad. Hey, good there. Not a dang thing. Spent the day at the cabin on the river working my scrawny butt off. Well, you did more than I did, Rail Artist. I haven't done a damn thing. Actually, I've been busy on other things, but I got it. Pretty soon I'm going to have to get back in here and really get cracking. Nathan says, would it be funny if you made a building called the Blender Building and you literally have a blender on your layout spinning while the trains run, but only for display, but call it Blender Building? You're a strange man, Nathan. Yeah, it would be different, though, wouldn't it? Let's see. So, Artie says, I got a new apprentice model train driver showing up today to help me remove most of my engines off the layout so I can start the expansion. You need help for that? That's right, you are getting ready to do the expansion soon. Now that should be interesting. Make sure you video all that stuff so we can see it. And Dave from Crooked Rivers is cool, Artie. Hopefully some progress soon. Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, like I said, I haven't been able to get much done here, and I really need to get back into it. Upper back is fine, no problems after the fall. Low back has always hurts like heck most of the time, long-term injury. Yeah, that's not fun. Nathan Doy, a blast furnace to be converted to a working coffee pot. There you go. That'd be weird, but it'd work. Nathan, you taking pain pills again? How you doing anyway, Nathan? How's your arm holding up and your hand? Should be pretty much healed by now, I would think, huh? Hey, John Benicki, good to see you. Hey, Dwight, good to see you too. I don't know if I said hi to you or not, or if you just came in. Alright, he says I need to remove the roundhouse first, and I got all my engines sitting in at the moment. Okay. James, what's up? I done this. Hey, Jan, I think I said hi to you early, James, but you might have been out for all, so hi again. Are you on drugs, James? Now, why would you say that, Dwight? Tom Grassi, how you doing? Hey, I was on the one for 2:30. Yeah, I don't know what happened there. That wasn't supposed to happen. You guys know I start at 6 anyway, but I'm still working out some of the bugs. I'll have it sorted out real quick here pretty soon. Dwight, to be honest, I make up my jokes as I go along. That's the way to do it, Nathan. Oh. So, yeah, I've been busy working on that chicken coop mostly. I'm almost done with it. And as soon as I'm done with it, I think the next project really is going to get back in here and start getting some stuff done. John Biggs is getting ready to have neck surgery now. No, that's not good. I wouldn't be looking forward to that either. But we'll pray for you that it comes out real good. Are you so sorry I missed your show last night, Dave? Crooked River, I got these new meds and they knocked me out. You're talking about Morning Brew, right? I came in Morning Brew, and then shortly I came in late, and then shortly after he got done with it. I still have to watch the replay. What's your next project on a layout? Well, That's a good question. I really, really need to start working on the electronics for the turnouts. Once I get past that, I think the rest will be a piece of cake. That's been my stumbling block because, to some degree, I'm kind of lazy. And I really just need to sit down and say, you know what, I need to get it done. It would probably take me a couple of days. Probably realistically take me a week to knock them all out. But if I get done with that, I'll be good to go. And then I can start doing other things. So yeah, I think that's going to be the next project. I still need to do the backgrounds. That's on hold for now. Mostly money issues. This is the worst time of year for me. I got property taxes coming up. I had to replace both tags on both my vehicles, my car and my truck. And everything has hit me all at once, so this is a bad time of the year for unnecessary expenditures. So even something as cheap as the foam board from the dollar store, I really just can't afford to buy it right now. And that's the only thing holding me up on the backgrounds. I've got the background paper ready to print. I got plenty of ink. I just got to take care of that. What's this, Nathan? Imagine if you had a steam engine, but the bad news is it will only make strange steam engine noises by farting. Could you imagine how wonderful that would be at a train event? That's a little weird, but funny. It's true. That would be weird. Let's see. Toot toot, Nathan. I got it on the other computer. I forgot to bring it over here. It was actually a road sign from, I think, Norway or Denmark or one of them places. And it was for speed bumps. But their translation of speed bump in their language turns out it was farting mark or something. It was really weird, but it was really funny. I forgot. I'll post it next week. I forgot to bring it over here today. I've been so crazy busy. Artie wants to know what meds you're on, Nathan. There's a little bit to go with the arm, but so far I'm close to healing. It will have to take a year until I pick up heavy stuff, and I mean really heavy. Well, that's not too bad. Nathan, the way that can be done with the ESU decoders for your information. I did not know that, Artie. Thanks for letting us know. That would be weird, but, you know, I'm sure Nathan would give it a shot. I just thought it would be time to add the emojis for fun for comedy American Model Vero. There you go. Tom Grassi says, I just developed a bridge and it just printed going to but a magnet on the walkway, so when my one boxcar goes by it will turn on the sound in the cattle car. Cool. That's neat. Here comes the toot toot train. Oh man, you guys are bad. Still funny though. Said, yep, Nathan, your doctor is giving you meds I didn't get. Laughing my ass off. Now wait a minute, now you're getting ahead of me here. Hold on a minute. Nathan said, it's a clever and funny idea. Manufacturers should do it. American Model Railroad also, if it's an awesome. Yeah, seriously, it'd be kind of cool. Hey, Trackside Mike, how you doing? Good to see you here tonight. Oh, man. And Digger Evans. Hey, Digger, how you doing? Sorry I got called away on the last stream. Just got free now. There you go. Well, you were on earlier, so that counts, right? Well, that's going to be exciting to see, Wilmer. Fart and Mart in my garden turn all the tomatoes purple and rotten. If that's your first attempt at poetry, it's not all that bad, but a little weird. And Wilmer said, me and the wife hung the backdrop today. That's cool. Can't wait to see that. Hope you're going to do a video on that, hopefully. Let's see. I gotta get cracking on my back. I got so many things to do, and just like I said, what's holding me up is those turnout controls. I gotta get them done. And Nathan says, as I swapped the horn sound to a woman screaming, it was funny at the train show when one of the members hit the horn button before the tunnel. That is funny. I would love to have seen that. Yeah. That's funny, American Model Railroad. There you go. Well, there's no reason why you can't have some fun, right? I should probably do some of that stuff here, but not yet. I still wish I knew why my train stopped. See, unfortunately, I can't duck under the duck under there, so I have to separate the train, roll that back, so I can lift the board, the pass-through, and then walk back there and see what happens. It will take a while to get it sorted out. But I have a feeling that we had, I don't know, no, they're all intact. Might have had a derailment up at that turnout. I don't know. I'll check it out later. Let's see. What else is going on? What system are you using for turnout control? Well, actually, I should have been smart and did it the simple way and just used tortoises, but I didn't. So I'm actually using Arduino and Arduino control board and what do you call them? The little servos, the 10G servos. It's actually a little more complicated than the tortoises, but hey, Jeff Dorota enthusiast, how you doing, Jeff? It's a little more complicated, but it does work well, and I've got it set up to where it's slow motion. It doesn't just flip it over, and I've also got it set up so where I've got my LEDs tied to it, so I can tell whether they're mainline or on the siding. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. I had the Arduino board, so I figured why not. Artie says, I've been banned from displaying model trains at Sydney model train shows for 3 years. That expires this October. How did that happen, Artie? What did you do? Heading to the Carolinas tomorrow. My daughter is getting her white jacket. Won't be on for the weekend. Peace out, everybody. Got to go get ready. All right, Plumber. Well, hey, have fun and congratulate your daughter. That's cool. And what do you have planned for your return? You should get PTC on your layout to avoid derailments. What's PTC? That's the only area that I'm having a problem. Everything else is doing pretty good. So, and it only happens once in a while. It's not constant, but this train's been running now for like 2 hours. No problem, and boom, there you go. Artie says, I run amok when doing shows and train shows here. I can imagine. Positive train control. Okay. How would that prevent derailments? I'm not familiar with it all, so I'll have to look into that, though. Because we will probably read about Artie in the paper after he goes back to the show. I'm sure. Probably get himself banned again for another 3 years, right? Tom Grassi says, check the frog on that turnout. It might be slightly higher than the rails that causes derail. All right, I'll check that out. But it's kind of weird, like I said, it doesn't do it all the time, so... Wheels worn out? Not likely, Artie. It's possible, but not likely. I just don't have enough hours on those locos to cause a derailment. But I'll look into it. Like I said, it doesn't happen often, but it does happen. All our shows have been canceled this year. Bummer. If you run a fast clock, maybe the crew had to call it quits. Yeah. You never know. So, anyway, like I said, it's always something. Those damn gremlins, they only show up when you're live, you know. If I wasn't live, that thing would be running for days probably. It is what it is. So, matter of fact, let me check the camera here. Maybe it'll see something, right? Let's see. I don't see nothing there. Now, actually, right about there is where the turnout is, and I don't even see a loco there. So, I'm not sure if there's a problem there or not. That looks alright. Like I said, it all looks good. I don't know what happened. I'll have to figure it out. But it's got to be down there somewhere. Right before the curve turnout or right at the curve turnout. I can't see that well. By the way, let me tell you what happened with that. So, what's that there? Wait a minute. So what kind of freight are you running tonight, Jim? Pretty much mixed freight. A little bit of everything. Jeff says it's to alert another train behind the other one about going too fast or too slow, as well as locomotive performance and train performance. Sounds complicated. Martin says if you have PTC, what do you need engineers for? That's a good point. Digger says, wow, fancy camera work there, Jim. I wouldn't go that far. And Nathan says, why did Conrail head for semi-trucks and semi-trailers? Is it for more business back then? That I don't know. So anyway, what happened is I went to Naples last Friday, to the eye doctor, because I had I can't remember. I had surgery done on my, the replacement lenses on my eyes, cataract surgery. And I was fine up until about a month ago. And you guys probably heard me say I can't see that well lately. I don't know what's going on. So I went back to the cataract doctor that did the cataract surgery on me. I said, yeah, I don't know what's going on. He said, everything's kind of blurry and cloudy. So he looked at my, he says, well, you got scar tissue back there. He says, that's normal. Don't get all freaked out. He says, we can laser that and correct it. So at the end of this month, on the 30th, I got to go back down to Naples, get the laser surgery on my eyes. And according to him, I'll be able to see perfectly again. So, fingers crossed, won't happen soon enough. But, so right now, it's like I really can't see that well. Everything is fuzzy and cloudy. It's not fun. Let's see what else we got going here. Is it for more business back? Oh, Nathan, how are you? Great contest you did. Hey, yeah, how did that contest work out? I didn't even follow up on it. Dave said I was asking Plummer what he meant by his daughter getting her white coat. I'm guessing she's a doctor. Me, I got a haircut. Yeah, I got short hair now. When I went down there, I was lucky. I was able to get into my regular haircut lady that does it for me, barber, and she was able to squeeze me in last minute. It was a crazy day, believe me. I was wondering the same thing. That's what I'm thinking. White coats. You think doctor or something in the medical industry. Not really sure 100%. Jeff Thoreau says, he said the White House came to a rail agreement. No freight trains should shut downs. Now trains will continue to run. They can't. Yeah, well, that's what I read, that they averted the strike, which is, of course, is a good thing, because a strike would have been disastrous for them. I think it would have collapsed the economy. Did you know 80% of our foodstuffs are shipped by train? I wasn't aware it was that much. So what would have happened is if the train stopped, we would have started seeing literally empty shelves in the grocery stores probably in a matter of a day or two. Would not have been good. Artie says you don't want to see perfect. You will find all the mistakes. Just kidding. I've never had perfect vision, but it's so bad I can't even drive. I have my wife drive, and I'm not a good passenger. And she'll tell you she doesn't really like driving me around because I'm such a pain in the butt. But, so I gotta. No, I won't need glasses, because that was what I thought, that maybe glasses would fix it. So he said no. He said the scar tissue, we found out, I guess not that long ago, that when they do the cataract surgery, you get scar tissue behind the lens, and they can laser it out. So the good thing is the laser takes like a minute or two to do it, and literally you can see again, I guess. So, doctor and ice cream salesperson. Yeah, it could be, Digger, either one, the white coats. Because I was concerned I might need glasses, because like I said, I can't see far, everything's blurry. And he said, no, it's from the scar tissue. He says, after we do the laser surgery on you, you should have the same vision you had when you first got your cataracts done. I said, well, that'll be great. So, good news there. I mean, I would wear glasses if I had to, but I wasn't really real, keen on the idea. I wore glasses most of my life. It's nice not having them. It's nice to get out of bed and not have to look for them. It's nice to take a shower, not have to worry about taking them off and putting them back on. I mean, sounds kind of lazy, but it's true. Steven says, I think they voted to vote not to strike, but can still strike on the 29th. I didn't read everything on it. I just heard they came to an agreement. I don't know what that agreement entails, so you may well be correct there, Steven. Hopefully they'll get this straightened out, because this is ridiculous, If they need more money, give them the money. If they need more employees, start hiring some employees, because I know a lot of them were complaining like everything else being short-handed. Wilmer reports 21:16. All right, guys, hit that like button. It's important. Stu Structure says my trains have been on strike for months. Yeah, but you can call up that strike at any time, right? Tom Grass, I just got back from eye doctors too. My vision is better than 2020. My eye scan was excellent. No scar tissue in my retina. But I need glasses for reading the computer screen and paper. Well, that's age related. And like I said, I had the cataracts done. I had to start wearing reading glasses because I didn't have. They actually have a lens that you can see both far and near on. I don't know, it's some weird magical lens, I guess. But it was like an extra $4,000. I didn't have the money, so I just went with being able to see far. Although, well, yeah, after you have cataract surgery, which you obviously haven't yet, but once you get it, there's a 99% probability you will get scar tissue. It could happen in a week after it, or it could happen years after it. For me, it took almost 2 years for it to really make an issue. So, but at least they have a way to fix it, because I'm thinking, what if they have to do another cataract surgery? But they said they'll only do one, and that's it. Wilmer said, wife just had her scar tissue removed from one eye. She had cataract surgery prior then, I assume? Like I said, it seems to be a common issue. Steven says, Jim Tedesco, not sure if you answered. I'm like, no, I didn't see it. No, I don't use this filament dryer. I haven't really had an issue with it. The good news is the humidity is so low up where I live that it shouldn't be an issue. And I haven't had any problems. Plus, I go through spools of filament left and right. I mean, if you have for a long time, that could probably be a problem, but let's see. Stu says, I tore up the track so none of them can run. F them till I'm ready. There you go. Hard to run a train without a track. Still looking for a computer digger. I have looked in a million. Oh, Dwight, you need a new computer? Yeah, look around. But be careful when you buy them, because some people are sometimes some of these dealers are selling old stuff at new prices. You know, it's not used, but it's just been around for a while, and it may not be what you think it is. So be very careful when you buy a new computer, or even a used one for that matter. Let's see. I know, Dwight, there's a lot to choose. Yes, there is. And Artie says, I can't get laser treatment for mine because of my eye script. Would be great not to wear glasses. I've been wearing glasses now for 49 years. What, are your eyes that bad that they can't correct it with a laser? I was afraid to have the LASIK surgery, which is correction for, if you wear glasses. I was just leery about having it done, and this is probably very similar, but I really don't have a choice because I really can't see. Stu says, I have to run good to see everyone. Happy mile. Have to run. Oh, all right, yeah, good to see you too, Stu. Thanks for stopping by. Have a good weekend, man. M1 Mac Mini. Don't know what that is. I'm assuming it's a Mac computer, but I'm not familiar with it. But hey, it might be a good deal for you, Dwight. Check it out. Dwight says, I can't afford a Mac. Yeah, I hear that. My friend down in Naples, an older woman that I know, she just bought a new Mac last year. It cost her $1,600 for, a desktop model. I'm going, are you kidding me? It's a good machine though, I guess, but man, that's a lot of money. What was that? Where did it go? Artie wants X-ray lenses. There you go. We all want those. I'm like Mr. Magoo without my specs, says Digger. Yeah, I was like that. I had real thick lenses. I mean, I was legally blind without glasses most of my life. I mean, when I had the glass lenses, those suckers were like this thick. And then when they went to plastic, they were able to make them a little thinner, but I think my vision was like 20/80 or something like that. It was not good at all. So, Steven from Wigwag says $5.99 for a Mac Mini. That's not too bad. Of course, Steven's into the iPhone and the Macs and all that. So me personally, I would never own a Mac computer. I like the PC, the IBM-based PCs, but that's just preference. The one thing nice about the Macs, though, they do really good for like photographic art and stuff. Their graphics are incredible. way better than the IBM PCs, unless you have a really, really high-end video card. Tom Grass says, does anyone need any building? Check out this channel. He has plenty to sell. Cool. Well, there's the link, guys. Copy it down and check it out. And Dwight says, that's too much for me. If I had that much money, I'd stay up at night and guard it. What are you looking to spend, Dwight, if you don't mind me asking? Like $100, $200, what? Joe says, can't afford a Mac, have to keep my Chevy. There you go. When I had my repair shop, my auto repair shop, people used to bring me their computers and give them to me, you know. And I had a few Macs that they actually gave to me. There was nothing wrong with them. And I threw them right in the dumpster. I just didn't like them. I don't know. I said personal preference. Yeah, around there, $200. I figured as much. It's not hard to find a decent computer for $200. You're not going to get anything high end, obviously, but keep looking. There are out there. And you should probably be able to get something with either Windows 10 or even Windows 11 for that price, I would think. Let's see, James from Dundas Junction says, Joe Raider, Chevys are great, older the better. Yeah, definitely the old ones. New ones, not so much. I was always a GM man. I was like Pontiacs myself. And I had quite a few Chevys. And they were good cars, but yeah, they were from the 60s, you know. The new ones, I don't know. I don't like new anything, to be honest with you. Artie says, I wouldn't take a Mac ever again. Piece of crap. Oh, we're talking computers, my bad. No, you're talking about trucks? I only drove one Mac truck, and it was fairly new. It was some time ago, and I didn't see anything wrong with it, but I don't know that much about them. They're certainly not a Kenworth, you know. Already I use both. There you go. I only want to do my 3D printer stuff on it. I don't need one for my main one. I'm on my main right now. Alright, so you can get like a cheap laptop then for that, right? You should be able to find a used laptop for... Get on eBay. eBay always has laptops, and they have a few that are used that aren't bad. You could probably get for somewhere between $100 and $175 with free shipping. And Trackside Mike says, check out Staples or Best Buy. They might have a good refurbished computer. That's also a way to go. Gerald Stewart says, discountcomputers.com here in Austin. They are great. Now, you could probably mail order from them. I realize you don't need a powerful one, Dwight. You just basically need just a basic computer. I don't know if you can get, well, I don't know if I don't know much about them, but a netbook, I don't know if a netbook would work for that or not. If anybody knows the answer to that, if you could type it in, I'd appreciate that. Because you can get a brand new netbook for around, what, $80, $90? But I don't know if it's got the capability to communicate with a 3D printer. It should, you would think. Dave from Crooked River says, one stack Mac with a window in the back. There you go. Pre-1990 Macs are okay, but after that they made good scrap metal. Well, you know, it seems to be true with everything, though. I mean, everything from back in the day is much better than what they're making. Now they're making garbage now, you know. And you know why? Because they computerized everything. Diesels were so simple at one time. And then they had to throw a computer in it and catalytic converters and all that stuff. And now the things, they break down constantly. before you turned the key, as long as you had fuel in it and compression, it would run. Now they ruin everything, you know, and all to make a buck. Realize that I've gotten a few used refurbished printers from my local friendly, really cheap geeks here in town. As a matter of fact, using one now for this diatribe. There you go. Refurbished pewters, okay. I just told you I can't see worth a damn. Yeah, like I said, you know, Dwight, you can pretty much get anything that'll be fine. You know, as long as it works. Wilmer says, drive a Mac for more than 5 minutes, you will want out of it. Yeah, they're a little rough riding. Like I said, they're not KWs by any stretch. Gerald says, my bad, it's discountelectronics.com. All right, check that one out, Dwight. You might get lucky there. Let's see. The back window is what we used to climb into a Mac bunk before they came up with a walk-in sleeper. Really? I wasn't aware of that. And you can have them. Yeah, they're not a comfortable truck to drive. I bought my last 3 computers from them, Gerald says. That's cool. Trackside Mike says, Dwight, I'll have a look around work. Not sure what they do with the old ones. I'll ask. There you go. I don't have any extras, or I'd give you one. I used to have a couple of laptops that I think I gave them away, and there was nothing wrong with them. They were older, but they would actually work for what you need. But I don't have them anymore. Wilmer says buckboards rode better. I seen deer past them going up the hill. Yeah, I've heard a lot of bad things about Mac too. Like I said, most of the newer stuff though. The old stuff was pretty good. I said I drove one once. I don't remember what year it was, but it was back from I think the 70s. It wasn't a bad truck. So, or maybe even if somebody has an old laptop laying around, they could donate it to Dwight, you know. And a lot of even some of them older ones, you can upgrade them enough, like you said, put Windows 10 in it, or even Windows 7. And I think Windows 7's got the proper drivers for a 3D printer, so it's, you know, there's a lot of possibilities there. Dave, BNSF N Scale, how you doing, Dave? Good to see you. All right, he says, Mac also lost my business when I went in to buy 4 brand new ones. Took my dirty clothes thinking I couldn't afford it at the time. I went to Kenworth and Ford and bought 10 new ones from them. There you go. Don't you hate when that happens? Hey, it happened a long time ago, back when I was a young man, like I think I was 18 or 19. I had $3,000 in my pocket. I went to buy my girlfriend some jewelry, right? So I went to Fifth Avenue, Naples, and like most Fifth Avenues, it was all high end. And I walk in the store, and I mean, I wasn't dirty, but I wasn't wearing a 3-piece either, you know. So the proprietor comes up, he says, sir, I think you're in the wrong store. I said, no, I'm pretty sure I'm in the right one. He says, sir, I really do believe you're in the wrong store. You should probably take your business elsewhere. So I pulled out the $3,000 cash out. He says, well, damn, I was going to spend this here, but I guess not now. Put it in my pocket, start walking out the door. The guy says, oh, excuse me, sir, I might have spoke out of turn. So yeah, you did. You fucked up. You know? I said, I'm done here. I will never do business with you again. Because I had long hair and I wasn't in a suit. He figured I didn't have any money. Well, he was wrong. I hate when people treat you like that. Let's see, you know why they put a dog on the hood of a Mac, right? Oh, yeah, the bulldog. Actually, I don't know why they put the dog on there because dogs are pretty reliable, unlike the Mac. Damn, Hippie, get out. There you go. Oh, I didn't say. I mean, he was nice about it, but in a kind of a smart ass way. But he basically was insinuating I couldn't afford anything in there. I had $3,000 in my pocket in cash. So who's calling me now? Whoever it is, I'm not talking to him. That was the only time that's ever happened to me, and I'll tell you, I just have an issue with that. I don't know. Yeah, never judge a book by its cover. Someone tell me if he has a shirt on before I look and have to rip my eyes out. Now, Derek, I got my shirt on. Thanks for stopping by. Look, I actually got my Shortline Thursday shirt. You realize you'll never be able to unsee what you saw earlier, right? Me without a shirt. Let's see here. That call was the jeweler still on your business. No, I don't think so. That was like 40 years ago. Because I really was. I was a long-haired hippie freak. I had hair down to my butt. Okay, literally. I mean, I usually wore it in a tail, but it was always clean, always shampooed, and well cut, well trimmed, and all that. And I wore jeans and usually a t-shirt. But I wasn't dirty by any stretch, But people just assumed that I was just, probably a drug addict or something. I don't know. Jerry's sure been happy since he got a new phone. Everybody starting on Jerry again. Jeff says, Jim, if Hardy gets x-ray vision, then we'll be able to see all the women behind closed doors and walls. Yeah, there was a movie back, I think, like in the 50s, right? Maybe it was The Invisible Man, I don't remember. But he had x-ray vision for a while, and I guess he could see beyond the clothes, but then it got so bad, all he could see was the skeletons of the people, so that would suck, right? But if you really had x-ray vision and could see through clothing, you'd probably hang out at the mall for, like, life. I mean, you wouldn't get anything done. Let's see. It's a very fancy phone he has now, Dwight. That's what he says. Or he says, that's what Mac and Sydney found out. Funny thing is, they didn't just do it to me. They did it to my first boss and many others. I was taught dress up like a scruff and see the service you get. That's actually kind of a smart thing to do, I guess. Good bones. Really, I mean, I had clientele come into my shop, they look like bums. They were driving a 2-year-old car that was probably worth $50,000-$60,000. They look like hell, and of course when they came in, I didn't really know what they were driving yet because I hadn't seen the car. And could you work on my car? Sure, bring it around. And they bring the car around, like I said, it's a beautiful car, high dollar, and they had money. They just didn't feel like dressing up. Guess they didn't. Maybe they were pulling an Artie there to see if I would treat them with the same respect that I would if they had a three-piece on, which I didn't care. I never judge people by what they look like, unless they look like a serial killer. Then I get a little nervous and then the gun comes out. But so, let's see. Jeff Dorero says, I don't need x-ray vision around here. They walk naked or half naked anyways. Do they really, Hardy? They don't do that where I live. They probably do it in California, though. Dwight says he should have bought the phone a long time ago instead of being so unhappy all the time. Yeah, maybe. Sometimes it's hard to come off more money than you plan on spending. And ultimately you find out you might have to anyway, but that's just the way it works. Digger says, yeah, I think he was waiting for the latest all singing, all dancing phone to come out, Dwight. Maybe. You know how long it took me to get a smartphone? I didn't want one. I really didn't. I had the old style flip phones, it was a 2G. And I was happy with them, but then, like I said, they got to the point where they really wouldn't work, So I was forced to get a smartphone, so when it came time to get one, I must have spent 2 months researching, trying to find the best one I can for the least amount of money. Because I wasn't going to go out and spend $700 or $800 or $1,200 or $1,300 for a damn phone. That's just crazy. Especially one that won't even last a year or two. Let's see. Jerry goes, Dwight, who asked you? All right, children, no fighting. I had a flip phone forever, says Dave BNS, and I liked them. They were great. Never had any problems with it. It worked. I'm not big on texting or, I have a computer. I don't need to carry one. I have a GPS in my car. And the one on the phone doesn't work well anyway. If you use a GPS to come to my house, you will not get here. Because it doesn't show this street for some reason. It shows the next street over. Even though you type in Shelton, it'll take you to the other one. I can't remember what the other street is. My house isn't on that street. I've had people complain, it took me a while to find you. GPS said you're over there. I said, well, that's your phone. Can't help that. Artie says, my favorite feature of the smartphone is the off button. There you go. All the boys on Wall Street have the same phone as Jerry. Really? Did you buy an iPhone, Jerry? Because that's what most of the Wall Street people have, don't they? I don't know. Artie says, Derek, I was just sorry for being rude. All right. Now, it's kind of important to get a decent phone because so many of them are garbage. And it's really tough to find a good, feature-rich smartphone, I got lucky. Like I said, I found one that worked well and it wasn't that expensive. And like I said, there was no way I was going to spend crazy money on a phone. Calm down there, boys. You tell them, Kyle. Already no damage. Yeah. My only phone hangs on the wall. There you go, Joe. That's the way to do it. I miss those days. When you answered the phone, you didn't even know who the hell was calling you. Always the latest gadgets, not for me, says Dave. Yeah, I hear you. I have 2 Androids, personal and business, like their system. It's not bad. I prefer Android over iOS for sure. Like I said, I'm not a big iPhone person. And I'm happy with mine. It does what I want. I've got unlimited data on my plan. I only pay $26 a month for the phone, for the service. I have unlimited data. I don't even use it. I'll text every now and then, but mostly, if I want to talk to you, I'll pick up the phone and call you. It can say a hell of a lot more in less time, actually speaking, than trying to text something. Jerry, you'll have to do a video about your new phone. Jerry, I don't think anybody's going to let up on you on that one. Oh, man, that's bad. Trackside Mike says, my dad still has a rotary phone on the wall at home that I got him a cell. He couldn't figure out how to answer it. Yeah, that was the thing with my dad when he was alive. He couldn't figure out a cell phone. I let him borrow mine a couple times. He really couldn't figure out how to use it. So, he had a dial phone, but a rotary phone, believe it or not, on the wall. And, there's nothing wrong with them. Stephen wants to know, Jerry, is it a 5G? It probably is. Kyle says, I'm the same way, Jim. Rather talk than tell. Well, it just makes more sense. Like that, when you're talking to somebody, you can kind of get the what's the word? Not attitude, but you get a better sense of what they're trying to say. You know, words on a screen mean nothing. There's no meaning behind them. You know, if the person's angry, or if they're sad, if they're sincere, because you can't convey that in a text message. When you're talking, you can kind of get the idea what the person's feeling like at that moment or what they're trying to convey. Just my opinion, you know. I used to get mad at my oldest daughter because she would send me text messages before I had the smartphone. Because I got text messages on my flip phone. But you know what, you guys who had a flip phone or still have one, you know what a pain in the ass it is to do texting because you don't have an actual keyboard. So I said, I didn't want to spend the time. So I actually called. I said, look, April, just call me. You know, you don't have to text me. It takes forever for me to answer you back. And I'm not going to do it because I got better things to do with my time. So for a long time, she wouldn't talk to me. And then finally, she kind of got over it. Now we actually talk on the phone mostly. Dave BNSF says, have to stream in front of the mirror, Jerry. Joe Rader says, don't need a smartphone. I have a phone, a camera, computer, and I can still read a map. There you go. Remember maps? I remember maps. I can still read one, too. Still got a few tucked away somewhere. And I have the same thing. I mean, I have I had a regular phone. I got my Nikon digital. I got computers, and I can read maps. So yeah, I hear you. Let's see. It's the most fanciest phone available. The picture is really rather splendid. Jerry did good work. It really sucked if you dialed the wrong number. You had to start over, and that takes another 10 minutes. Yeah, right. Artie says, I hate texting. Seeing someone face to face or hear their voice, you get a better idea of a person. Yeah, exactly. Person's attitude at the time. I say you can't convey that with a text. Jeff says, yeah, I know what you mean by that. Absolutely. Tom Grassi says, I just reached new achievement on YouTube, 250 hours of watch time so far this month. Cool. I got to check and see what mine is. I generally don't pay attention to that, but I should. I don't even know what my subscriber count is. I think last I looked it was 303, but I don't know what it is now. Dave BNS says, still have a road atlas in my glove box. I had one of mine for a long time. And I finally broke down and bought a GPS for the car. I like it. It's kind of cool. But it doesn't always, fortunately it has the ability to change routes because sometimes it'll pick a route that I don't want to take, And that was nice about the map. You could figure out what route you wanted to take and map it out, and you knew where you were going. You know how many people can't read a map today? The younger people? So, if technology just failed one day, like tomorrow all technology failed, these people would have to kill themselves because they can't do anything. And not a good thing. We may be the last generation that can actually read a map. Derek says, Artie, that's true. Someone could be being sarcastic, and it could get taken as nasty without hearing them. That's true. Digger Evans says, good work, Thomas. Absolutely. Stephen says, yeah, 5G is the future. It's so awesome. Well, we talked about that earlier, Stephen. We have different opinions of that. But, hey, it is what it is. Jeff says, I think we should go back to old school phones and get rid of the cell phones. Less accidents on the roads, more pain. Yeah, absolutely. And some of you guys aren't going to want to hear this, but these cell phones are the worst invention ever invented. And it's making people stupid. It's making people careless. In England, and if there's anybody here in England, which I think, Digger, if you're still here, I read somewhere that they actually put LEDs in the roads at the crosswalks so that people on their phones would see them because they're looking down and they didn't see the traffic lights to prevent them from getting hit by cars. That's how bad things have gotten over there. That's ridiculous. You know, I've had people walking me into stores. They've got their face buried in the phone. They walk into you, trip over you, and they're, oh, sorry. You know, put that damn thing away and do what you came here to do. You know, I got no sense of humor for that. I really don't. Trackside Mike says, I still have my big truck Mac with all the interstates on it. Better than GPS does. Yeah, I bet you, seriously. Well, look at these idiots. Steven says, I get lost going around the block. Hey, that's not good, Steve, but hey, you know. Look at these. You've heard the stories. Like, there was that one woman, she had a, what was it, a 70,000 BMW or a Mercedes-Benz, and she's following the GPS through a field into a stream. Actually, it was like the rapids. She almost died. Like, the rapids, I guess, took her car for like 5 miles before she was able to get a helicopter to airlift her out of the car. I guess they lost the car. And she followed the GPS. When the road stops, you got to figure that GPS is probably wrong. But people trust the technology with their lives and they're fools. Because it just doesn't work. And even though I have GPS in my car, I'm still very aware of where I'm driving. And if the road stops, so do I. Artie says, I still use road maps and map books. It gives a better idea which way to head. Absolutely. You get to pick your own path. Gerald Storrs says, young people can't tell time. Not on analog clocks. No, they can't. You know, if it isn't digital, they're screwed. Well, a lot of them can't write in cursive either. You know, my transgender son's the same way. He can't sign his name. He cannot write cursive. I mean, you can't even sign your own name. You got problems. No. But that's the way things are today. We're not teaching anybody anything. Because the damn phones do everything for you. Artie says we can hide easier from that generation. That's true. Usually right under their noses, right? Real Artie says, holy crap, mousetrap under my desk just went off. Got that beady-eyed little rodent. Crushed his tiny little skull. For real? Cool. You should post a picture of that. Yeah. We're going to have to change his name to Rat Artist. Oh, man. Jeff Therese, exactly well said. Yeah, that's true. The real artist says, watch virtual rail fan. Occasionally, drivers using GPS pull off into the tracks or between them in Ashland, Virginia. I mean, really, how dumb can you be? And Wilmer says Tide Pod eaters. Yeah, exactly. You know, I mean, what's wrong with these people? Tom Grass says, I used to get the AAA trip ticks. Yeah, I used to get those. You flip the pages, you go along. Always made a trip more interesting. That's true. Wilmer says Rand McNally Atlas. Yeah, I had one of those. I had real big ones like this. That's like half the size of a newspaper. Let's see here. Digger Evans says, yep, I saw someone on a CCTV walk right into a fountain because they were looking at their phone. I know, you know, it's like, it literally, it's like it steals your soul temporarily, you know, for lack of a better way to describe it. I don't know. You know, my wife's the same. She loves her phone. She's always got her face in it. Me, I could give or take the damn thing. Most of the time it's in the house. I don't take it with me hardly anywhere. I mean, when I go to Naples, I take it just in case I break down. But, you know, when I bring it in here because I use it as a monitor for my live stream. But other than that, it sits on my desk in the main house. I really don't care. You know, if it's something important, I'll leave a voice message. If they don't, well, then it wasn't that important, now was it? See, Artie says, I had this woman walk into me after my last surgery glued to the phone. I tore her to bits. and made sure she got a great ear bashing. There you go. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'll say something. If I see somebody driving with their face in the phone, I'll roll down my window, honk the horn. Put the damn phone away and drive your car. And they look at me like, I can do both. No, you can't. You know. But it's true though. They really, I would never do that, and I know so many people that do. Those people are whack jobs, Wilmer. Yeah, that's true. Anybody say anything more, Digger? Had a reality show here called Hunted, Running, and Hiding from the Law. You could see the people's biggest undoing was using modern technology. You're tracked by modern tech, including your new cars. That's true. If you're going to try and, if you want to disappear from society, get rid of your new car, get rid of your phone, get rid of your credit cards, because those things are going to track you. Most people don't have a clue. Jeff the Road Enthusiast says that would be a great YouTube video, walking into a fountain as you watch your phone. I've seen people walk into trees, poles, you know. One time I was walking my dog, this is back when I lived in Naples. I'm walking the dog on the sidewalk, and this guy on a bicycle goes down the road. He's playing on his phone. I don't know what happened, but he wound up dumping the bike because he was so entrenched into the phone. And I just looked at him and started laughing. He was mad at me, but I didn't care. You know. All right, Mike, thanks for stopping by. We'll see you next time. Have a good weekend. Have fun. Play with your trains. So, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's just, maybe I'm a little old-fashioned. I don't know. I don't care. I really do believe that these phones are the biggest bane to humanity. I really do. Artie says, I want to do it, but nobody wants to join me. It's $200,000 prize money running for the law from the law for fun. They give you $200,000 if you succeed? Huh. They don't have that here. I'd probably take a shot at that. I'd have to know all the rules, though. But no, it's true. Is the train still running, Jim? No, it stopped. I got a problem, and I can't really get to it right now. It's down on the other end. And like I said, I don't really know what happened, so I just shut it down. Let's see. Yep, you win $200,000. That's amazing. And Tom Gresh says, it's against the law here in New Jersey to have your phone to your ear. But I see so many every day doing it. I did it once in a town. Was looking for a place to pull over, and I got a ticket. Yeah. Well, they have the same law down here in Florida, too. You're supposed to use a speakerphone or basically some sort of a speakerphone. You can't put the phone in your ear while you're driving. And I've seen cops do it. Actually, I've seen a state trooper run a stop sign while he had his phone in his ear. And it couldn't say anything because, you don't mess with them. They'll arrest you for something. But it really made me mad. It's like, this guy's supposed to be setting an example, right? Idiot. He's lucky he didn't get in a wreck. Of course, if he would have, I would have been there at the other guy's defense. Because I'm sure he would have tried to blame the other guy for it. Jeff says, I definitely would try that, Jim, what I already said about the law. Like I said, it's not rocket science, but you really do have to lose all the tech because, if you don't know by now that all this stuff is tracking you, you must be living under a rock. Artie says, rules are you can't leave the state, you're in pairs, you get $150 each, and not get caught for 28 days. It'd be tough, but it could be done. But you got to be really smart. Derek says almost every car has Bluetooth now, so it would be on speaker and cops are allowed. That's true. See, I don't I've got a Bluetooth stereo in mine that I put in aftermarket. But I don't have anything tied to the car. It's a 2004 Mercury. I don't have, I don't have anything. I don't have a black box in there or any of that stuff. That's another reason I don't want a new car. They put the black box similar to an airplane in a lot of the new cars. So if you get in an accident and they check the black box, and if it's wrong, which it could be, you get charged with the accident even if it wasn't your fault. I don't trust that. You know. Just hide in the woods for a month. Yeah, you could if there's woods around. Alright, he says 2 guys from 2 different teams made it this year. It wasn't a bad show. Huh. I'd like to see that. Do they, was that on like YouTube anywhere? Like, you know, the show itself? What's the name of the show? I'll look for it. Somebody's probably airing it somewhere. I could request it too on a movie site that I belong to. But I gotta have the name of it. I'm surprised they don't do that over here. Of course, they probably don't do it here because they don't want anybody making fools of the cops. Artie says, yeah, that's right, but new cars also ping back to the man. That's true, they do. Dwight says, not mine, Derek. They didn't know what Bluetooth was in 1995. I don't know if they had that far back or not. I don't think so. It's on Australian free-to-air TV. I'll look it up. Okay, yeah, let me know. I'm curious because I'd like to watch that myself. Hell, it might give you some ideas, you know. Well, like I said, I do know that you got to be careful these days. Everybody makes the same mistake. They use their credit card. Every time you swipe your card, you are getting tracked. You know. Or, like I said, you ring your cell phone, even if you turn... Unless you remove the battery from it, and even then, most of them you can't. But even if you did, I still wouldn't trust it to not still find a way to track you. I would literally get rid of it. So, weird stuff. I don't know. So, what other train stuff we going on here? It's really driving me nuts to know why my train stopped. Let me stand up and see if I can see anything here. Oh. Oh, it's right over here. Why did it stop? Huh. I don't seem to be derailed. Well, it also doesn't seem to be going anywhere. Alright, it's moving again. I might have hit a dead spot in the track. Might be time to clean the track again. That's the only possibility I can think of. Oh yeah, Derek, you're right. I heard about that too. They're using the credit card companies to find out who's buying guns. They got a special code for it. That kind of pisses me off too, but not surprisingly. Oh, and there's the link for that show. Ugh. I'll copy that. Let's see, Tom Grass just saw this on YouTube Studio. One video had 520 views and 109 subs, so many others are watching. I guess that's a good thing. Huh. Alright, he says, I already got a foolproof plan. It won't be found. Trick is to partner needs to like camping. Laughing my butt off. Yeah. I hear you. No need to drive, Jim. It's a short walk. Yeah, right. Tom Grassy, you have 110 now, mate. That's cool. Pay cash when buying a gun. That was... Oh, of course, I would. I mean, I have everything I need, so I really don't need to buy anything. And some of the stuff I actually did pay cash for. So, yeah, I think I need a serious track cleaning going on here. It's still running though, amazingly. Um, Although it sounds like something's not quite right. I don't know. Probably gonna have to clean the track. It's been a while. Let's see what else we got here. Because we all know that criminals buy their guns with a credit card at a gun store. Yeah, and that's so ridiculous. Well, it's got nothing to do with that. They want to disarm Americans. It's not going to happen. And like I pointed out on another website, I said, look, this is foolish. The majority of people in this country that are gun owners have everything they need. So does it really matter whether they track them with a credit card or not? They already got what they need. So what? And the criminals don't go to the store and buy a gun new with a credit card. Most of them are buying in the black market. Artie says it's pretty neat. They had a guy from England's MI6. Cool. Yeah, I got something going on here. We're barely rolling. Yeah, I think I got some dirty track issues going on here. We'll just have to mess with that at another time. I need more switch motors and block detectors. Oh yeah, and a tad more track. Now, lucky you, right? I've never used a card to buy a gun. I don't want the wife to track my spending. Yeah, there you go. Smart guy, right? And you don't want anybody else tracking it either. Joe Rader says, okay, guys, gotta go. Good show again, Jim. Thanks for stopping by, Joe. Have a safe and fun weekend. Hopefully we'll see you next week. Yeah, I definitely got a dirty track situation going on here. I wonder if let me get the steam engine going here. That ain't going nowhere either. Oh well. Guess it's time to clean some track, huh? Not today, but that seems like a good job for tomorrow, though. Cleaning track. I think the EPA are stopping your train to check the methane levels on that cattle car. Yeah, it could be. You know how bad them cow farts are. Don't they push digital currency? Yeah, they're trying for that too, and that'll be a bad thing if that happens. Got a hot box jam in the train. There you go. One thing I used to do is watch each train car go by to make sure everything is on the track. I do that occasionally too. And I don't think that's the issue here. Like I said, I'm hitting dead spots in the track. So there's obviously some dirt buildup that kind of cropped up there. So I'm going to have to go through it again. It's been a while since I cleaned it. Like about a month maybe, I think. So it's probably time. It's always something, ain't it? I tell you, it'd be really nice if they can have self-contained powered locomotives so you wouldn't rely on track voltage to do it. That would be the ultimate for model railroading. And I imagine, well, I'm sure they have it in some occasions, but I think it'll become mainstream at some point, especially if it's like a Wi-Fi unit and everything on board have a, like maybe a rechargeable battery that could go for several hours. That would be cool. Let's see. Rail Artist says, my stepson loaned me a .45 caliber pistol so as I can protect his mom from harm, with my weapon of designation being a Navy corpsman with the Marines being during Vietnam. I am well trained on one. Hey, that's what I like, man. I like my 1911 .45 caliber. That's pretty much what I've mostly carried most of my life. I have several. I have an officer's model now for my carry gun, and I would not have anything else. You know. You know. First off, I'm really a good shot. I'm not bragging, but I really am a good marksman. And if I point the gun at something, it's going to get a bullet. You know. I don't need 18 or 22 rounds to hit my target. I mean, if you can't hit them with the first two, you probably shouldn't have a gun. And, you know, for some of you guys get mad about that, but oh well, you know, it's the way, it's true though. And when I do hit you with a bullet, I want you to go down the first time. I don't need to put 16 rounds into you to kill you. That's ridiculous. And it's kind of hard to prove self-defense when you empty your mag on somebody. Cheryl says it's called dead rail. Yes, I have a dead rail. Oh, I got a huge problem with my kit-bashed Athearn crane. It doesn't fit into the diesel shed. It should, shouldn't it? Is it really that much bigger than your diesel shed? I don't know. Small hole going in, large hole coming out. Absolutely, rail artist. Shed on stilts already, okay. Off the rails. How you doing? The shed on stilts, okay. That's what I said. That's what I thought it was. Derek says, New York and Chicago have the toughest gun laws in the U.S. and the highest gun. Tell me about it. Especially Illinois right now. You'd be a fool to live there. Especially starting January when pretty much you can do whatever you want and not really get in trouble for it, including murder. That's crazy. You're going to see total chaos happen there come January 1. You watch. Tom Gray says, I have a 357 Smith & Wesson loaded and ready. There you go. 357 pretty much goes through most of what you're going to point it at. You generally don't come back from that either. The good caliber. That old saying, guy says to me, he says, why do you carry a 45? He says, because they don't make a 46. So, you know. But the main thing is you got to be good with it. It doesn't matter what you have. If you can't shoot worth a damn, it doesn't matter what caliber you're shooting. You know, you got to hit your target. Rail Artist says, my aim was usually off a bit, almost at the chest, and usually got them, the dummies, about 2 foot lower. The dummies ain't going to have no more kids. You know, it's a funny story that you brought that up, because that happened to me when I applied the first time for my carry permit, which I didn't get at the time, but I took the course. And you had a quick draw on a silhouette. And 2 rounds, double tap. 1 in the chest, 1 in the nuts. Swear to God, I did it twice. And the instructor looked at me and says, I hope I never have to face off with you. And, you know, like I said, it was a quick draw. It was, I don't know why. It just happened the way that was. I mean, I could aim for it and hit it, but I wasn't aiming. Just boom, boom, and that's where they landed. So, it's crazy stuff. Artie says his crane is 1 millimeter too tall. Huh, that's weird. Yeah, Dave says taller foundation. There you go. That'll fix that. 1 millimeter isn't much. Yes, the bullets do not bounce off. No, they don't. Off the world. Dirty Jimmy. Now, that would be dirty Tommy. Because Tommy's got the 357. Tom does. I use the 45. But didn't, well, no, actually, Clint Eastwood used the 44 Magnum, didn't he? That's another bullet I wouldn't want to get hit with. That'd mess up your day permanently. If the bad guys come in single file, you can save on ammo. That's true with a 357. Good for what, 9 people, I think? Derek says 2 to the body, 1 to the head. There you go. I generally I use the first one for the 1 chest, 1 to the head is the way I prefer to do it. And if I can do it, that's the way it'll happen. You know. Because you could survive for at least a little while with a chest shot. Headshot pretty much disables you right there on the spot. Off the rail says, nah, the child is being exceptionally irritable this morning, Artie. Okay. Jeff says, my aunt took mine away, BB gun, because I always shot the groundhogs. That's pretty funny. Need a 45 to pull my youngest in the line. There you go. Artie says, I'm more subtle than I make sure the bang I use the person is never found again. Well, there you go. If you can pull that off, I mean, you know. Well, here I could probably get away with that because I have a pretty big piece of property and, you know, just bury him in the back there. Nobody probably know about it. But if it's self-defense, you don't have to worry about that. And it depends where you live, too. Like here in Florida, they're pretty lenient on self-defense. I mean, you know, you do the stand your ground thing where you don't have to retreat. You kill them. As long as they were threatening you and you could prove it, you could take them out. Let's see. Low Country Road. Late hello, everyone. Hey, Low Country, how you doing? Better late than never, right? After us, I keep having to pay postage on returns, Marty. Why? That's not good. Artie, rather. Put a Chinese address. I get some here you can use. That's Chinese address. That's funny. Speaking of BB guns, I have one here I keep in the shed. Well, I keep several in here, but damn. This, believe it or not, is a BB machine gun. It's a BB gun. It's just patterned after an AR. I think, right? No, an AK, excuse me. It's patterned after an AK-47, and it shoots BBs. And we've got a 30 round, or about a 50 round magazine you can plug into it. CO2 powered. Thing's great for varmint, you know. I've actually used it to kill a few things with. But, and then of course for the more serious varmint, 22 caliber 1911. So it's a good varmint gun too, and it's not very loud, so I can kind of shoot it around here with no problems. But it works good. And I keep it in here because you never know. Of course, I think it'd be kind of useless on a bear. If I see a bear and I'm in trouble, I'm going to have to break out the real AK for that. But yeah, it would be tough to take down a bear even with a 45. But yeah, it is what it is. Let's see, our home invasion and defense laws suck. I know, you guys, if you try to defend yourself, you go to prison. What the hell is that? England's the same way. In Canada, what's his face, the gay boy there, Trudeau, he said there's no right to defense in self-defense in Canada. Screw that, I wouldn't live there. Sorry. You know. I had a friend of mine, he moved to Baja, Mexico, which, you know, is technically Mexican territory. It's not California like some believe. And he moved over there, and he was a gun owner, and he had to sell all his guns because you're not allowed to have guns in Baja, Mexico. So I said, screw that. He said, why don't you move here? I said, I don't go anywhere where I can't defend myself. Sorry. Sad state of affairs in Australia. Yeah, kind of. You just got to get the right politicians in there. You got the wrong people running things now. Hey, Rick Bailey, Fulton Bailey Railroad. How you doing? Alright, he says, screw the law, you come here, then they find you at the lake. That's my attitude too. I mean, even before they came up with good self-defense laws here, it's either my life or theirs. It's an easy choice for me to make. That's that old saying: um, better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. A lot of truth to that. If you're dead, you lose. Jeff says I need to move there, Artie. Dave says only the cartels have guns. That's true. They're the only ones. How's that working out? Not real well. Personally, I'd be a little afraid to go into Mexico because they're not real impressed with Americans there. You may wind up in a shallow grave somewhere. It's happened before on many occasions. We have Biden's lost stepson running our state now. You may be right about that, Artie. Who knows? Only drug dealers are allowed guns in Mexico. That's true. Yeah. Realer says, I gotta be going. Keep the guns in the holsters until threatened and fired upon. Take care, my friend. Absolutely. Never shoot except in self-defense. That's why I always believed it. But if I have to, I won't blink an eye. Anyway, have a good weekend, Real Artist, and we'll see you next week. Artie says, I call the cops and tell them first in, first served. That's kind of funny. I don't know. Like I said, it's so bad nowadays that you shouldn't even have to worry about stuff like that. But yet, that's the reality we live in now. Tom Grass says, shoot first, ask questions later. Well, if I shoot first, there won't be any questions needed. And yes, I would shoot first. It's funny because my wife goes, aren't you worried about, people knowing that you own a gun? I says, well, the thing is, most people I know own guns. I know very few people who are not armed, So I don't know why people are embarrassed or afraid to admit that they carry a gun or they own one. Artie says, just to jump the intruder gets a 415 volt shock. Oh, you got electric fence? There you go. That'll work. Shooting seconds sucks. Yeah, you're right, Gerald. Nothing works better than chilly water. For self-defense? Well, it might throw them off for a second, give you time to shoot them. I have zero respect for criminals. And some would call me I'm not sure what the right term is, but if you try and break into my house or threaten my family or me, I'm going to kill you. That's all there is to it. No questions asked, no bullshit, no second chances. You're going to die that day. And a lot of people say, well, you're a very angry, murderous type person. No, I'm not. Because I didn't want to do that, but if you push that, if you cross that line, there's no going back from that. And I think if everybody thought that way, we'd probably have a much more civilized country. What's the expression? I've killed for less and haven't lost a minute of sleep because of it. There you go. It just, nobody wants to kill anybody unless you're a whack job anyway. I certainly don't, and I never have killed anybody, I've hospitalized a few people over the years, but they didn't die. Once again, self-defense, but and I didn't shoot them. I just beat the hell out of them. Bad enough to where they had to go to the hospital. But, I've got it in my mind that if I have to do this, I'm mentally prepared for it. Now, some say until you actually take a life, you don't know what and actually how it will affect you. That may well be true. I hope that's not the case for myself, but I think because I've been desensitized to a lot of the stuff going on in the world, it will probably be easier. Or he says, with the last lot of troublemakers that were hanging around my area, after the last event we had, they avoid the area. There you go. When I moved into this house, I bought this house. They had a bunch of crackheads and coke whores, and there was like 8 people living here. They were all basically squatting with the property owner's consent, but they weren't paying rent or anything, and they didn't leave until literally the minute that I got here. I had keys in my hand, the deed. Says, you people need to leave now, and they did. So anyway, we went to do some shopping to get some food and stuff. We come back, and 3 of the girls that were living here were back rooting around in the trash out front. And what the hell are they doing here, So they saw me, they got in the car, tried to leave. Of course, I blocked them from leaving because we live on a cul-de-sac. And I get out of the car, I says, what are you doing? We're looking for something. I said, you do realize that that's my property now, right? You were trespassing on my property. Well, we didn't mean to. I don't care what you meant to do. But here's what's going to happen. If I catch you here again, the only thing you're going to hear and see is a flash and a bang. And you tell your buddies that too. If I catch anybody here, I'm just going to shoot them. I don't want you people trespassing on my land. You have no business being here. Now get in your car and get the hell out of here. And I never seen them again after that. And I guess they spread the word because people stopped coming around here real quick. And I was serious. I'd have shot somebody. I don't care. Because I was a little leery about, knowing that those kind of people were living here. There's one guy pretending to run a yard service. He was a drug dealer. He came here right after the girls did the next day at like 11 o'clock at night, wanting to know where the owner was. I says, well, you don't see any of his vehicles here, do you? No. Well, maybe he doesn't live here anymore? Well, who are you? I said, that's really not important. I'm the new owner of this property and you're trespassing. Don't come back here if you like your life. Never seen him again either. But, that's the way it is. But that's what you have to do sometimes. You got to be tough. If you do it right, they don't hear the bang. That's true, Derek. Do you really want to call a bluff on that statement? Nah, probably not. We had an old fella shoot a fella dead just out a few kilometers from here that broke in. Went to court. The law tried to prosecute him. He got off. Big community win. Absolutely. Fortunately, most of the juries will let you go. If it's self-defense, it's self-defense. Like I said, it becomes you or them. What are you going to do? Tom Gray says, I never killed anyone either, but came close one night. Had what I thought was an intruder. Got my 12-gauge shotgun, pointed it down the hallway. It was my brother-in-law who I forgot to tell me about. Yeah, that's another thing, too. Never walk into a house unexpected in the middle of the night knowing that the owners of the house are armed. Fortunately, I would never shoot until I saw what I was shooting at. I mean, you hear about these people shooting through the door and stuff, and that'll get your life in prison. If you got the gun pointed, cocked, and ready to go, it's a split second to pull the trigger. Wait until you see who it is. It's highly unlikely that somebody's going to come through the door, bullets blazing already. So, Charles Stewart says, right before New Year's 2000, my neighbors bought a crap load of food. He asked me what I thought. I told him I got 3 bricks, 500 rounds each, of 45 ACP. That might have raised his eyebrows a little bit, huh? Let's put it this way. I have no want of ammunition or weapons. And I'll leave it at that. You can use your own imagination. But I got enough to take care of myself for a while. Or he says we had these older teens trying to run down 4 and 5-year-old kids with trail bikes. Jesus Christ, what the hell's wrong with these people? Cops took 3 hours to get here. I told one we need to knock. We need to know who they are and where they live. I got my bat. Told the cop. Follow me. There you go. Gerald, tell him that gives you the crap load of fuel too. Food too. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've got food too. I've got everything I need here, pretty much. I mean, I'm not too worried. And if anybody thinks they're going to get any of it, they better be better armed than me and a better shot. That's all I can say. Thomas, good thing you saw who it was, but still glad you carried protection to investigate. Absolutely. As I said, you got to be careful too. There's a lot of responsibility with gun ownership. I've never doubted that. I always believed that. And there's some people that really should not have a gun. But in this country, pretty much everybody can have one legally. And for those who can't, they'll get them anyway. So, what are you going to do? All crazy stuff nowadays. But, things are getting bad, like I said. Fortunately, here in Florida, we don't have a lot of crime here. Because people are afraid. And I noticed in Sebring, people are very non-confrontational, which is weird because, I'm not a complete asshole, but I'll get mad sometimes if I see something really stupid, especially if it has to do with me in a store. And I'll confront the person, not hurt them or anything or try to hit them, but just, look, what's wrong with you people? And they get all freaked out and stuff. I guess they think I'm going to shoot them. I don't know. It isn't just me, it's everybody. And they'll basically lie to your face because they're afraid of you, which really kind of bothers me. But then again, it does kind of keep things calm. So we don't have a lot of crime here for that reason. But of course, I think people in general worry. I mean, you got to be careful nowadays. You shoot your mouth off with the wrong person, you may wind up wearing a bullet. Because there's a lot of people out there that just don't care. Off the rails. Remember that old World War II veteran in Brisbane that shot those 2 Aboriginal kids dead and they wanted to lock him up? He got off too. Really? I remember that. I don't remember how it turned out. But I heard he got arrested. They were going to charge him with murder. Even though it wasn't. Artie says firecrackers does wonders too. Yeah, they will. Gerald said he asked if I would guard our food. Yeah, there you go. So he's willing to share food with you. Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's good. That's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I don't know my neighbors real well, but I can tell that they're trustworthy, and they're well armed too. Everybody on my street is, which is only a few people, but, so I know if something goes down, I'll have backup probably. And they'll know I'll back them up too if I'm in the, if I know what's going on. So, I don't know if I'd share my food with anybody though, but I might share some of it, but I've only got like a year's supply, so it depends how bad things get. Just as that's how it is in Wilmington, Delaware, and Philadelphia. People just shooting. Oh, it's true. It's crazy. Or he says younger generation think they are entitled to everything and get wrapped in cotton wool. Yeah, well, I'll tell you, and my stepdaughter was still a teenager living with us. She hung around with some of the worst people. I mean, they weren't total criminals, but you couldn't trust them, And I used to talk to them every now and then because almost every one of them had gone to jail for something, juvie hall anyway. And I said, when I was a kid, we weren't angels either. We stole things and, did stupid things because we were kids. But we did it and didn't get caught because we were smart about it. You idiots do things and you get caught every time because you're dumbasses. I said, do you think there's some badge of honor to get caught? We didn't think like that. The idea was to get away with what you were doing, not actually get caught. You people got this stuff backwards. You know. And it's really true. Even my stepdaughter. She got in trouble for shoplifting a few times. And going, why do you do that in a store where you know there's cameras? Oh, I didn't think about it. Well, you need to. Gerald says he's a demo rat, never held a gun. Yeah, most of them haven't. Derek says, Gerald, first victim. There you go. My cotton wool buddy is made out of red gum. It bounces. Red gum is amazing, isn't it? I don't know. Like I said, people are just kind of whack these days, you know? They're not only brazen, but they're stupid. That's the worst part. Oh yeah, Tom, you're right. They post it in social media. That's how a lot of them get caught. How dumb can you be? I mean, do they get a prize if enough people find out? I don't know. I just don't get it. Yeah, I'll tell you a quick story. When I was in 8th grade, I was having a sex affair with my teacher, okay? This is a true story, I really did. She was good looking, young. Was only a few years older than me, I think. But we were having, off school grounds. Nobody knew. I never said anything. To this day, I still won't give out her name. Because that would be stupid. Today, and that happens more often than not, especially nowadays, probably always did. But these idiots today, they send each other naked pictures over their phones. The parents find out. Somebody ultimately goes to jail. How dumb can you be? Hey, DB Tech, how you doing? You know? Hardy says, we ran amok when we were younger, but we didn't thieve or damage people's properties except letterboxes. We never feared just the law. We feared when the law took us home. Yeah, that's the way it was, too. Cops wouldn't hurt you, but your parents, on the other hand. You know. Gerald says, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's been my saying lately, too. Was it Edna Grabapple? No, it wasn't Edna Grabapple. She's about 7 or 8 years older than me, but, I don't know why, but she took a liking to me. Next thing you know, we're sleeping with each other. But neither one of us ever said anything to anybody. Because you just don't do that. You enjoy what you got going on. It's not something you brag about. It's not something you need to brag about, So I never got caught, neither did she. Everybody's fine. But today, how many times do you hear about a teacher having sex with one of his or her students, and they got busted because somebody sent naked pictures of themselves over the phone? How dumb can you be? Salt soaked in ghost chilies. Okay. Can put whatever you like in those 12 gauge shells. Yeah, that's true, you can. My day we didn't have phones. We just went to Budjong Creek to skip school and do our own physical education. There you go. We didn't have phones either. Like I said, that wasn't invented yet. I think when I was in high school, before I quit, I had a pager. Because there was a payphone on school property in the high school. And that's back when calls were still a dime for local stuff. So if I got a call on the pager, I can go find the payphone and call whoever it was that was paging me. But that was all we had. We just didn't have phones. Jeff said they must have been high on meth or something else. Yeah, probably. That's what I said. Kids today, they're stupid. They really are. My stepdaughter's boyfriend, he's 20-some years old. I had to show him how to change a tire on her car. I kid you not. I was doing that when I was 12. It's scary. What are they teaching these kids in school? After us, we all had ESP and could find our friend because we knew them well. That's true. You didn't need a phone. You knew where they hung out. You just rode your bike over there, and there they were. Derek says, my buddy got hit with salt shot stealing corn. He'll never do that again. Hurts twice. Once when you get hit, and second when it starts melting into the wounds when you're sweating running away. Ooh, I bet it did. Never got hit with rock salt. Been shot at with rock salt. For a similar reason, we were going through tomato fields on our motorbikes, and apparently the owner didn't like that idea. He shot at us. I didn't get hit. No, none of us did actually, but we were quite a ways away, and he wasn't a very good shot. Still scared the shit out of us, though. Off the rails, rather than track them on the phone. Yeah, right? Most of the teachers knew where we were. A couple of them were cool and gave us condoms and said to us, be careful, with a smile. There you go. None of my teachers were like that, except for the one I was doing. Yeah. But it was a different time, like I said, and they didn't make such a big deal out of a lot of stuff either, like they do today. You do that today, you're risking prison, or worse than that, putting on a sex offender list for the rest of your life. Weird here, they call it buckshot here. You guys have lead buckshot. Yeah. The salt, they just used to call it salt shot, really. That's all it was. That's true. What can I say, I don't know, like I said, it's just, I see so much stupidity nowadays, and I'm wondering. I mean, thank God my kids grew up right. Of course, I actually taught my kids things that they didn't learn in school, like how to change a tire, how to pump gas, how to check the oil in their car, how to apply for a loan, how to apply for a job. I mean, I taught them all these things because the school didn't, I knew all that stuff before I quit school. And I figured that my kids should know it too, because they don't teach those things in school. They teach you stupid things. And I was no angel in school, believe me. Like I said, I quit 10th grade. The first half of 10th grade before I quit, I spent most of my time in the restroom smoking cigarettes. I just didn't want to go to class, and I was done with it. Off the rails says, didn't learn much at school except the rich get off scot-free. That's true, they do. Hey, money talks, bullshit walks. It is what it is. That's why I said I'd never be rich, because if I were rich, I'd be dangerous. And that's why I'll never be rich. All right, he says it's gotten way stupid and way over the top. Go on a date, and if the person didn't like you, they cry rape. It's happened to way too many people here, including 4 football players who lived above me. Oh, that's true, It's a very dangerous world today. You almost have to get a notarized consent form for whoever you're with. And then you better get a medical exam, too, to make sure they are what they say they are. Because you never know anymore. It's scary times, man. I said I feel bad for anybody on the dating scene right now, because I wouldn't want to do it. The pickings are very slim. And you really just don't know what you're going to wind up with. I remember a few occasions, it was a few years back, and it was somewhere, not here in Florida, but there was one where a guy picked up a woman in a bar, and they went to his house, and they were getting ready to have sex, and turns out that the woman was a guy. So he lost it, killed her, strangled her, and he didn't go to prison for life. He got, I think it was a manslaughter charge. He got like 4 or 5 years for it, but, I guess the jury took pity on him. It's like, look, you thought it was a woman until she got naked, and you found out it wasn't, I couldn't blame the guy. I'd probably want to do the same thing myself. School is no good. I ain't never did no good book learning. I can tell, Digger. I was pretty smart. I did pretty good, but it was a waste of my time, and I wanted to go to work. I wanted to make money. So I couldn't legally quit the 10th grade, but I did anyway. I actually petitioned the school board in Collier County, Naples, so that I could legally quit, and they wouldn't let me because they were more interested in the money than they were letting me quit. But I quit anyway, and I was out of school for a week. I was employed at a full-time job a week later, and I've been working ever since my disability happened. So OTR says less security on our jails these days. Yeah, that's probably true. Jeff says that's why I quit school, because we called school back then jail school. I can tell you. After us says I can done good woodworks. There you go. Digger says, was it one of them queerosexuals? Oh, it happens, man. I'm telling you. Here's a funny story for you. This is all true. I don't make this stuff up. When I had my repair shop, one of my customers was this woman. At least I thought she was a woman. She was pretty tall. She was like maybe 5'11", somewhere around there. Built pretty good, but not fat. Really big ones, you know. And she was driving a Pontiac Fiero. I had a Fiero at the time too, and I guess she saw mine, figured I could work on it, so she asked me to work on hers. And she didn't have like a really good female voice. It was a little raspy, kind of like a man's voice, but not quite. But I didn't really think nothing of it, you know. So I was on. She was there. I was working on a car one day, and another guy I knew, an older guy, that was a regular customer. He was talking to me. He says, "When did she start work? What are you working on her car for?" I said, "What do you mean?" He says, "Well, let me tell you something. That's not a woman." I said, "How do you know that's not a woman?" He says, "Look," he says, he used to hang around at the dog track, you know, betting on the dogs. He says, "She came in one time, seen me, struck up a conversation, and before you know it, she invited me up to her room for sex." And I'm going, "Oh, okay, so." He says, "Well," he says, "you know, we get to her room." He says, "You mind if I take a shower first?" She says, "No, go ahead. There's the bathroom." So he goes and he takes a shower. He comes out. She's on the bed, buck naked. It ain't a woman. It's half a woman, but the lower half was not a woman. He said he literally physically threw up and had to leave the room. I said, "You're full of it. You're pulling my chain." He says, "No." He says, "Check her out." He says, "Look at her. Look at her close. Look between her legs. You're going to see a bulge." So, you know, I'm thinking, is this guy for real? So I started paying more attention to stuff. I bet it was a guy. I never said anything to her or it or whatever. And it was actually a good customer for quite a while. But it just, you never know. I mean, at first glance, you thought it was a woman. You know? Scary stuff. Let's see what else we got here. Was it one of them? Yeah. It's way too risky now. I got 2 wives and 10 kids. We all sleep in the same bed. Don't call the cops. They won't see anything out of place. Yeah, right, Artie. I don't know. I wonder about these guys that are into multiple women. Because, you know, yeah, one wife's enough. Why in the hell would you want 2 or 3? Yeah, let's see. Derek says it wasn't until Jim's second date that he found out. Yeah, right? No. I was married at the time. I wasn't interested. But so it turned out, though, a year or 2 later, she stopped coming around, and one of her friends came by, and he said, you know, I said, so I can't remember her name now. But I said, where's she been? She hasn't been around. Oh, she's in Miami, you know, getting the surgery done. I go, why'd she go to Miami? Well, that's the only place that does that kind of surgery. Oh, okay. She was having her, you know, her thing removed. That's some scary stuff, man. Can you imagine if you actually married a woman that was once a man and found out years later? I mean, wouldn't you want to kill it? And then maybe yourself afterwards? It would be bad. Digger says, oh my word, that would be a shock expecting to see a beaver instead of a... Yeah, tell me about it. Yeah, I'm thinking, you know, if I was thinking about after that, you know, thank God I'm married, because if I wasn't, they would have to drop their britches for me. Just so I can be sure they're who they are, you know. Artie says, yeah, it's hard enough to lie to one. It's deadly to lie to 2 wives. There you go. Gerald Stewart snip. I'm telling you, crazy stuff, man. But that's the world we live in today. And you know, the real thing I got is why did we let the doctors who performed that surgery actually live? You know, and why would they even do it? I mean, do they love the money that much? It's crazy. Yeah, Digger says it's straight up Jerry Springer show stuff. Kind of. Hell, they didn't even have that on Springer, I don't think. When you marry one, you get two. Yeah, right. I mean, I can see advantages, but I can also see a lot of disadvantages, you know. If they decide to gang up on you, you're screwed. Paul Hogan had the best way to check boy or girl. Was that in one of his movies? I don't remember. Yeah, that ain't a knife. This is a knife. You know, that'd be one way to find out, I guess. Crazy stuff. In the bar, yeah, right. Crazy stuff. Yeah, in his first movie. I don't remember it that well, but I remember that one, though, when the guy pulled a knife on him. It looked like a little buck knife, you know. You call that a knife? This was a knife, mate. You got all of it. Reminds me of that scene in, what was it? Oh, damn, what the hell was the name of that? Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think it was. The Arab guy had a sword. He's doing all the fancy stuff, and the good guy, he pulls out his gun and just oh shit and shot him in the head. You know, I mean that's the way. You don't never bring a knife to a gunfight or a sword for that matter, because it's probably not going to end well. He grabbed a handful. Yeah, that'll do it. Although, I'd still be leery about doing that. And even then, you can't even tell anymore with that. Yeah, Indiana Jones, that was it. I couldn't think of it. I liked it. You know, they're coming out with a new Indiana Jones movie, believe it or not. I'll watch it because I'm sure it'll be good, but it should be. I don't know when it's coming out. But, you know. And you know, when they write these scripts, they like always throw those things in there, you know? And they're like little, like, I don't know, life's realities, I guess. They just throw them in the movie, and some people get it, and most probably don't. Artie says, I did that at Canberra Airport Security. That's not a knife. I got 3 hunting knives on my plane. Oh, man. They let you bring knives on the plane? They don't do that here. I don't think. No. They almost make you take your underwear off, make sure you're not hiding nothing up your butt, you know? I mean, it's ridiculous. I haven't been on a plane since 1967. I mean, a commercial plane anyway. I've flown a couple of private planes, but actually piloted them, but I have no desire to get on a commercial airline. None at all. If you don't trust me to get on the plane without strip searching me, there's no reason for me to get on there. I'm sorry, just not going there. Off the rail says, my personal knife is a foot-long home-forged 6mm black carbon steel Wandu-handled zombie slayer. That's a mouthful. That's not a knife, that's a sword. A foot long. Man. Artie says, yeah, I was aerial search and rescue. We had permits for it as it was our work. So, yeah, there you go. That makes sense. That's cool. You know, it's funny because years ago, before 9/11, the pilots were allowed to carry guns in the cockpit. And it was right before 9/11 that they actually banned them from doing it. Almost like they were planning for that, you know, the 9/11 thing. Because prior to that, most pilots carried guns in the cockpit. You know, I'm not sure why exactly. Maybe to prevent hijackings. Maybe to kill themselves if they were going to go down and figure it quick. Who knows? Sounds fishy. Yeah, a little bit. That's true, though. I actually looked into it because, you know, I think, you know, now they can actually In some cases, they can get permits to carry a weapon in the cockpit. They didn't even need a permit before. Now you got to get a permit. I mean, it's everything is so ass backwards nowadays. It makes no sense. Personally, I'd like to see us go back to the wild, wild west, which wasn't all that wild anyway, where everybody just carries a sidearm and be done with it. You know, if everybody had one, people will be more polite, and I don't think there'll be as many problems as they think there would be. Yeah, now we got air marshals, but I don't know. And they're not on all planes. They're only on some of the planes some of the time. You know, the object is that nobody knows who they are because they're in plain clothes, but it's kind of a good bluff, really, I'm sure. But not flattering if you happen to be on the one that didn't have one and you got some crazed idiot that wants to knock down the plane or kill people. It's just, you know. Some airlines pilots now have tasers. Yeah, that's all right, I guess. But you know, look, a taser doesn't do the same job as a handgun does. You know. Although I guess you could probably kill somebody with a taser if you hold the trigger in, right? Just keep juicing them until they're dead. But I don't know. I mean, for a while they were talking, well, you can't shoot in a plane because rapid depressurization, while they have frangible ammunition for that won't penetrate the skin of the plane anyway. And they've always had, well, they've had that for a long time, so what's the deal? Problem with guns is instead of people quarreling over there, they would shoot each other over a hurt, kill, surrounded community accidentally. Yeah, maybe. Well, people have to get their priorities back too. That's another problem. People will kill for no reason. I mean, they'll kill you for your shoes. They'll kill you because you looked at them the wrong way. I mean, you know, what the hell's wrong with these people? The only reason I'd kill you is if you tried to kill me first. You could really piss me off. I still wouldn't kill you. I wouldn't even shoot you. You know? I've gotten pretty pissed off, you know, in the past where I wanted to kill somebody, but I'd never do it because it wasn't worth it. Subsonic ammo, there you go. I don't know. I guess people are just they got their priorities all wrong if they got a needle. Of course, one of the biggest problems now, and it's not all of them obviously, but especially in Illinois, you've got a lot of black crime. The blacks have gone crazy. Not all. There are a lot of good blacks out there, but we got to get rid of the bad ones because they're taking over. And I'll tell you what, like I said, when that new law starts up in January, where they literally can get away with anything, you're going to have a bloodbath in Chicago. I guarantee it. You watch. Are people gone wacky, especially in the U.S., and it's because what's in the foods today? I don't think it's the foods. I think it could be 5G. And it could be what's in the foods, too. I don't know. I mean, fortunately, I haven't had that problem yet. But, of course, I'm on a pretty basic diet, so maybe that helps. And I filter my water. My wife says, it must be in the water. Maybe it is. I don't know. But, and I think a lot of it's the drugs, too. Not the illegal ones, but the legal drugs. You know, all these, what do they call them? The brain, the drugs that for, like, mental problems. You know. I think these things, you know, I don't think they really know the full extent of what happens when people take these drugs. Let's see. People don't like it. There are sane people with guns, but there are nut jobs out there regardless. Well, that's true. People are desperate hard times. That's also true, but still. I don't care how bad things get. I would never shoot somebody for no reason. You know. I have better sense than that. The problem is there's too many people that don't have better sense than that. And I've scaled back a lot. I mean, I used to, you know, I'm probably, well, not really road rage, but, you know, if you cut me off, I give you the bird, you know. I'm afraid to do that nowadays because somebody might try and shoot me over it, you know. Now, yeah, I carry and all, but Still, I don't need the aggravation, so I just kind of ignore a lot of stuff. Derek says, the last idiot over here films himself walking into an auto parts store, killing a customer for no reason. Bet he pleads not guilty after filming. Of course. And that's another thing. If you get caught in the act, take him out right then and there. There was a guy in Naples. It was probably about 35 years ago. It was on a Marco Island. He came out of his motel room first thing in the morning. Of course, there were people on the beach. Pulled out a gun and started shooting people. No reason, just, I don't know, how he must have had a bad night or something. Didn't get laid tonight. I don't know, but whatever the problem was, he was shooting people. So the cops came out there while this all was in progress. Well, they arrested him, after they disarmed him. And I'm thinking to myself, why didn't they just shoot him? He was caught in the act. Even the alleged gunman alleged my ass. A couple of people died. I mean, he wound up getting charged with murder. I don't know what, the penalty was, because they never follow up on that stuff. But they should have just killed him then and there, solved the problem, saved the taxpayers a bunch of money. He got caught in the act. It wasn't afterwards. He was still shooting when the cops showed up. If I'd have been the cop, I'd say, hold on a minute, boom, all right, call it in. Because that's the way I do things, But the cops, not so much. Some of the colored people who cry race and racist crimes are the racists, and that's true, unfortunately. Well, you know what happened here? Something happened, the George Floyd thing here in the United States. When he got killed by the cops, it set off a wave of violence. And the blacks, to some degree, they're really mad. Well, they're not rightfully mad, I don't think, but they believe that they have the authority now to kill whites on contact. And that's where the problem lies, And you hear these guys, they're on TikTok going, I'm going to kill Whitey, I'm going to cap his ass as soon as I see one. Well, thanks for letting me know so I could be prepared, It's wrong. And like I said, not all people do that, but there's enough of them out there that we've got a problem, and we need to deal with it. The things they put in foods comes to the factory, the dangerous goods, placarded trucks. Dangerous goods means, that's true. Tom Grace says, they all make up excuses. There are no excuses for their behavior. No, there isn't. So I'm saying, the idiots want to study him. There's nothing to study. This is very simple for me. If you're getting arrested, and I have been arrested many times, I've never done anything wrong, but I got arrested because they thought I did. I always beat every charge. But when they come to arrest you, I never fought them. I never resisted arrest. Put my hands behind my back, handcuff me, put me in the car. We deal with it in the courts. And 9 times out of 10, it never went to court because they had nothing on me. But these idiots, they'll fight the cops, try and take the cop's gun, beat the hell out of the cop, and then finally the cop has to kill them because he has no choice, and then they cry racism. That's not racism. That's stupidity. On the victim's part, on the criminal's part. And you're right, OTR. We have heaps more emotional hip shooters here than rational thinkers. That's true. Yeah, I can remember the Columbine school shooting. Once again, stupidity, Why lock the ones up that get caught in serious act of murder, get away, our tax dollars put them up for life? Well, that's what I said, too. They should just be killed. You take a life, you lose your own, unless it's self-defense. But if it's not self-defense and you actually went out and murdered somebody, that's it, you're done. And if you get caught in the act, they kill you right then and there. And some of these idiots actually admit to it. Of course, they change their plea after they get to court. Too late. As soon as you admitted to it, boom, you get the bullet right then and there. And if you're found guilty, once again, as long as you know they're guilty, because I don't want to kill innocent people, but if you can prove they actually did it, just kill them. What does it cost? Like $40,000 a year to lock somebody up? That's taxpayers' money being thrown away? They didn't ask me whether I wanted them to live or die or not. I'm sorry, this is not the way. And it doesn't fix anything. Prison's a joke. Prison's like a paid vacation. Where else can you go, get all your needs taken care of, and not cost you a dime? Let's see. Not his first shooting, got 3 years for attempted murder and let out in 11 months for good. Yeah, exactly. That's why he threatened to shoot a pregnant woman. I mean, the whole night, it's ridiculous. That we had an Aboriginal woman start a movement here. Her son was killed in jail. She blamed the security, but the truth was he was killed by his own folk. Yeah, probably. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to get arrested, just get arrested. At least you live to tell the tale. If you fight the cops, I believe they should kill you. Period. If you're that stupid, well, what did Gerald say earlier? Play stupid games, get stupid prizes. Crime is caused by a mineral deficiency. They need an injection of 185 grain of pure lead behind the ear. There you go. Well, it costs 10 cents, absolutely. Hell, even if it costs $1, it's still cheaper than the electric chair. It's $70,000 a year for prisoners. Are you kidding me? $70K a year? Wow, that's crazy. Probably inflation. And we're paying that. And for what? And then they get out on early release, commit another crime, maybe worse than the first one. I just don't get it. They get free board, 3 meals a day, best health care, free clothing, clean sheets, nice bed to sleep in. They get to have an exercise room. They can take classes to learn to be a lawyer so they can beat the system next time. I mean, how in the hell would you call that prison? They'd ask me, I'd say put them in a 4x4 cell with a dirt floor, no bed, a hole in the ground to pee and shit in, and that's where you stay until your time is served. And you won't have to give somebody 30 years because they won't live that long. Yeah, you could stay in the Hilton for less. You're right, Digger. We are on the wrong side of the fence. Well, I don't know. I got issues with being caged, so, not going to happen. A friend went to court already. He killed accidentally when being robbed by a screwdriver wielding thug for cigarettes. The thug got stabbed by his own weapon and died. They were trying to jail. I know, that's bullshit too, it's just wrong. I don't get it. Jeff says, yeah, because they are just waiting to get back out of prison so they can reoffend, go back in, and come back out. They don't learn. Well, they don't, because it's a paid vacation. Where else can you go and get everything you need for free and not have to work for it? There is no place other than the grave. You don't get much in the grave anyway, but, 4x4 cell, man, dirt floor. In the Mexican jails, I hear that's the way they are, from what I understand. Never been to one, but I had a guy from Mexico tell me, he says, a life sentence in Mexico is 5 years because you don't live any longer than that. I remember that guy there. The pink suits and the tents, they busted him. But he had less reoffenders after that because it was rough. No air conditioning. They were humiliated wearing the pink panties and whatever, pink suits, and he made them work. Yeah, you don't want to come back for that. That was, I can't remember the sheriff's name. That was I can't remember his name. They wound up firing him. And he almost went to prison himself because they said he was abusing the prisoners. Really? Already, so our cells are 8 by 12. Yeah, what a joke, right? And they get to come out. If you're in a cell, you're in a cage for, say, a year. Yeah, Arpaio, that's right. Sheriff Arpaio, I couldn't remember. Thanks, Derek. And I liked him. I thought he had balls, We got a sheriff here in Florida, Grady Judd. He loves busting people, especially pedophiles. Hey, he's a hell of a guy, a hell of a sheriff. But you don't see that too often. Could build a good-sized layout. Yeah, right. I don't know. Like I said, it just you put them in that cell, you could have shorter times, you'd get the point across, and be done with it. And give them the basic necessities: bread and water. Maybe give them a blanket. Hell, maybe not even give them that. Prison should be feared worse than death. It was at a time back, I guess, in the 20s and 30s, and that's when they made the prisoners bust rocks for 10 hours a day, for no good reason, just piss them off. Joe does great. Yeah, he does. I love watching his stuff, man. He kind of makes a joke out of it, but not really. He's just got a weird sense of comedy, I guess, a weird sense of humor. I like him. And put me in there with a layout, I'll be happy. There you go. Half the problem is the criminal and half the problem is the district. Oh, yeah, the DAs, they're a joke, too. Okay, chaps, I'm going to get some sleep. It's almost 2. All right, Digger. Have a good weekend, man, and don't get in any trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do, so that leaves you wide open. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, like I said, it is what it is. I would do things a lot differently, but I've had people, you say, you're a lunatic. You can't do that stuff. I thought you said you're a Christian. I am, but I'm not an idiot. You got to do something that works. Do these criminals show any mercy to their victims? No. Why are we showing them mercy? I don't get it. If a guy rapes a woman and kills her, well, you know what needs to be done to him, right? Let the punishment fit the crime. If you dice somebody up because you're a lunatic, guess what should happen to you? Yeah, right, bleeding hearts, that's all it is, Hey, like I said, there was a time, and I actually looked into it. They wouldn't let me because I guess I was too enthusiastic about it. Because, they usually they get volunteers to do the death penalty, to pull the lever, for the electric chair. I actually inquired about doing it, and they just said, no, we don't think that you would be right for that job. I'm like, what do you mean? Hey, look, if I'm convinced they're guilty, I'll kill them. I got no problem with it, I'm just doing what you idiots are afraid to do. So they wouldn't let me do it. Some people don't belong in society, keep them locked up. Well, yeah, but what does that really serve, though? If you're that bad of an individual that you can't belong in society, then maybe you shouldn't belong on the planet. At least not breathing. I'm just, like I said, I'm more passionate about it because I've seen so much. I've been lucky that none of this stuff ever happened to me, but, But when I was married to my first wife, we used to talk about stuff. He says, well, if anybody ever hurt or killed you, I would find them, I would kill them. If I had to wait 30 years for them to get out of prison, I would kill them after they got out, if they were lucky enough to live that long. She goes, well, you might go to prison. I said, so what? I said, but I'll get justice one way or the other. And I'll do to him whatever he did to you. And she knew I was the same with the kids. Has anybody ever hurt my kids? There isn't a place on this planet they can hide from me. Now, I don't give a damn about the law. Let's see. I got those who got my pregnant partner and my aunties. I was lucky to get away with my revenge on those, thanks to a war going on in the area. Oh, cool. Yes, but they won't do that, so keep them locked up. Well, yeah, Derek, but who wants to pay for that? Do you want to pay for it? I don't. And what good does it do? They get upset if you have your dick in your other hand as you pull the lever. Oh, well, I wouldn't go that far, but but it wouldn't bother me. I mean, I would be okay with it. I did and do 10 times worse for my revenge if they do harm. Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. You really don't want to deal with me. You hurt somebody I care about? Oh, no, we're going to have some problems. and you're going to pray for death, and I'm not giving it to you anytime soon, but you're going to wish for it, you know. That's just the way it has to be. And if everybody thought that way, I think we'd have less crime in the streets. The problem is most criminals figure we're all a bunch of pussies and we're not going to do anything. And for the most part, they're generally right, you know. That's too quick and easy, Joe. Yeah, right? And yeah, I'm gonna make them live for a while, but they ain't gonna be happy about it, you know. Then start with the toes and work your way up. You know, cauterize the bleeding so they don't bleed out before you can play with them some more. Oh yeah, I'm pretty bad with that, man. Dominoes if we all think like that. Unfortunate truth. Yeah, that's true. Scream for me. Yeah, there you go. I'm just saying, you know, and a lot of these things should be public. I mean, you know, like let's say somebody killed your kid, you know, for no good reason, and they caught him, and he might have even admitted to it. All right, so now they should give you the opportunity to take him out in any way or fashion you please, and it should be public. Put it on TV, and it doesn't matter. You can do anything you want. You can torture him, you can dismember him, you can do whatever you want. You know, if that happened even once in this country, I would bet you money, a lot of money, that a lot of the crime would disappear overnight. It would scare the shit out of everybody that was thinking about doing that. You know, but nobody will do that because it's not allowed. You know. Tom says, there was a debate here in New Jersey on using the name inmates. They claim it hurts their feelings. Do we care about what they're criminal? Absolutely. Who the hell cares? You know? I'm sorry, but you lost your rights the minute you tried to take mine. You know? Or if you took somebody I cared about, their rights away. That's just the way it works, you know. If you come through my door in the middle of the night, you left your rights outside. The only right you got now is the right to die. I don't feel sorry for anybody, not like that. Then their family comes for you, then your family comes for them. Well, that could happen, but usually not. I mean, you'd have to be careful. And be prepared to take out the rest of the family. If you have to. I mean, yeah, it could get bad, but like I said, most people won't do anything. Says, oh, there was a thing like this here in Melbourne, Australia, in the early 60s. The survivors chose the punishment, which was a slow, painful way to go, having limbs taken off. They really did that? Why did they stop? Yeah, but I'll bet it probably cut down the crime, didn't it? I would bet it would. Shall we think alike? No, it's true. I mean, and I'm not a violent man. I'm really not. I would just soon let things go, you know, but there's some things, like I said, once you cross that line, that's it. You're done. Yes, I thought they lost their rights when they are in jail. It seems the bleeding hearts are giving them. Well, they do. The criminals have more rights than you do. And that's not right either. And I think public punishment should be mandatory, especially for murder, for rape. Just make sure they're actually guilty because, you know, sometimes people get accused of stuff they didn't actually do. But if you know for a fact they're guilty, especially if they're caught in the act, public execution, you know, and let the victim's family members carry it out if they choose. And if they don't, let a volunteer do it. Because the cops are afraid to do it. They won't do it, you know. And Charles says, don't go near my level. Yeah, absolutely, you know. I said, you don't mess with my kids, you don't mess with my wife. You just don't do it. Not if you want to live a long life. So, you know. Derek says, come for someone in my family, you won't have any family members left. Yeah, well, and sometimes you have to go that route, you know. You know, back in the day, the Italians, they had the right idea, mostly the mafia, but if you crossed the mafia, they would kill all your family members right in front of you first before they killed you. And they had kind of the right idea. I mean, it was pretty brutal. But not too many people crossed the mafia because of that. You know? Say what you want, but it worked. Tom says, look when they changed from using the electric chair to injections to be human. Really, why? I know, that's ridiculous. I mean, personally, I think the electric chair is a waste of money. I think the hanging rope is much better. It's cheap. You can use it over and over again. And it doesn't actually cost anything. Except maybe to clean the rope, you know, if there's any blood. I would rather see people hung, to be honest with you. And I think it should be a public hanging. I'm sorry. That's just the way it needs to be. Yeah, it's brutal. So what? Did the criminal, did he care about his brutality against his victim? No. And you know, the funny thing about the injections, when before they gave the shot, they take alcohol and cleanse the area. You're going to kill the guy. What's the point here? You know, I never understood that. And nobody can answer why. Let's see, it says to get free dental and medical here, you just have to steal a car, smash into a few people. There you go. That's true, too. I mean, you know, some of these criminals got life-saving surgery. They're on death row and they give them life-saving surgery. Really? What a waste of money. Oh, bugger, they removed it off of YouTube. Hey, John from Mystic Road, how you doing? You're really late, but we seem to be running late here, so, what the hell. I'm starting to really enjoy these live streams, you know. Even though I enjoy talking more about trains, but eventually we always get into something else. But we can do that because, you know, we can. I don't know, guys. You know, there's easy answers for all the problems in this world, but most people don't believe that. They try and complicate it. And really, things are simple, you know. Like I said, if somebody takes a life, you take their life. How simple is that? You know. We don't need to pussyfoot around and, oh, we better make sure that, you know, they're taken care of in jail and we tend to their every need. I mean, who thinks about this stuff and why? It's crazy. Already says you can see if you can find, okay. Public hangings were effective. You're right, Derek, they were. You know. I mean, there's no good way to die, but that was definitely not in the top 10 of a good way to die. You know. I think we need to go back to that. Artie says, Mystic, you're here just in time to volunteer yourself for our experiment. Oh God, what's the experiment, Artie? I'm almost afraid to ask. It could be weird. Do we really want to know? I'll do it for beer and chicks. There you go. Oh, man. OTR thought that was funny. Disembowelment. That's a nasty way to take somebody out, too. Well, like I said, there's no good way, but, you know, hey. It should be so bad that people fear it more than death, even though it will result in their death. But, so I got the chips but no beer. And that's the problem. Our legal system, if you want to call it, our justice system, if you want to call it that, there's no real penalty. Nobody's afraid. Complicate things nowadays, let's kiss it now. That's true. People overcomplicate things nowadays. Let's kiss it now. Well, and that's true. Like I said, there's a solution for everything. It's really an easy solution. Sometimes it's so easy that I guess people can't believe it's that easy, but it really is. You know. If I can come up with the solutions, I'm sure everybody can. You know, I'm no genius. Gerald Stewart, that's what they did in Melbourne before they stopped capital punishment in Australia. Anyway, painful and slow. Yeah, absolutely. And it should be. Like I said, it should strike so much fear into somebody that, you get up in the morning, I think I'm going to go kill somebody tonight. And you go, oh, wait a minute now. I saw what they did the last guy that killed somebody. I don't want to go there. I'll just drop that idea. I mean, I don't know if the thinking is that simple or not, but it could be. Thomas Grassi, you really want to kiss my hairy lips. No repeat offenders, absolutely. And that's another thing, too. You should get one shot, that's it. In a serious, in a felony anyway. In a misdemeanor, I think you should get 3 shots. After that, that's it, you're done. Because if you ain't figured it out the 3rd time, you're not going to, period. I mean, everybody can make a mistake once, and that's fine if it's minor. Like I said, realistically, how many of us have never stolen anything? And back when we were kids especially. It happens. It's just things that dumb kids do. Or dumb things that kids do, but, the first time I stole a carton of cigarettes from a convenience store, I was 15 years old. My own stupidity, I let a friend talk me into it, because he did it right before I did and got away with it. I did it, I get caught. I had a choice. And then the owner, I kind of knew him, but he says, look, I can call the cops, you can go to juvie, or you could be banned from the store for a year. Which do you want to do? I'll be banned from the store for a year, thank you. And he did. I couldn't go back to the store for a year. But I learned something that day. I never did that again. It wasn't a real serious penalty, but it was serious enough that I didn't want to go any worse. Of course, today that would be a joke, Kid would say, sure, fine, next day be in the store stealing again. That's just the way things are now. But, I don't know. We got to go back to the start, too. We need to get 2 parents in the family, a mother and a father, that will discipline their kids properly. And that's another thing, too, First sentence, lose a hand. Second, lose your ball. Yeah, I think that's what they do in the Middle East. I don't know about the balls, but they definitely lose a hand if you get caught stealing. And you don't see too many one-handed Arabs running around, do you? There's a reason why. Because they don't fool around. And they don't wait 20 years to knock your hand off. They do it the next morning, maybe the same day. That's what I'm saying. We need better penalties. They're just not there today. An eye for an eye, absolutely. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. People think I'm a Bible thumper when I say that. I'm really not, but, it makes sense to me. Almost like that in the Philippines. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And it needs to be. Like I said, the penalty should always be serious. It should be enough to scare you into not doing it. Indonesia, yeah, absolutely. That's what I'm saying. Everything we do in this country is literally a joke. And it almost seems like they want the criminals. They want to support the criminals. They're giving the criminals more rights and more advantages than we have. Maybe they're just afraid of the criminals. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what the motives behind the state are. Why they refuse to take care of criminals. Either they're afraid of them, or they want them for other reasons. I mean, what Illinois is doing, like I said, there's a whole list of offenses, serious felonies, that they can sort of get away with, and even if they get caught, they can't be held in jail. There's no bail anymore. They did away with bail. Just release them. I mean, everything. Second-degree murder, drug-induced homicide, all kinds of stupid things. Kidnapping, rape. All those things now you get slapped on the hand. And if they give you a court date and you don't show up, they don't even worry about it. What do you think the criminals are going to do? It's not rocket science to figure that one out. that's becoming a global problem. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, I think there is an agenda there. I'm not sure what it is, but there seems to be. And in Asia, you do not want to go to jail. No, you do not, because you probably won't get out alive. You know. And Russian prisons aren't no field day either, for that matter. I think, yeah, I need a Chinese, same thing. You go in there, you're done. They'll probably kill you for your body parts, your organs. Oh, yeah, we got one right here in cell 3A. He's got a good heart. We'll get it for you. It's hard to support those who don't wish to fall in with law-abiding community. We can't afford to pay to have murderers, con artists, and rapists looked after. There are good people struggling. Yeah, that's true. That's why I say the solution is just kill them and be done with it. Same thing with these pedophiles. I have no love whatsoever for a pedophile. And I was just reading a story. I don't remember the guy's name. Looked like he was maybe in his mid to late 20s. And he was actually hunting down pedophiles all over the country and killing them. He got caught. I'm sure he's screwed now, but they really should have pinned a medal on him and let him continue his work, I'm sorry, but I don't see any solution. If you got a thing for little girls or little boys, you got a problem that can't be fixed. You need to be taken out. That's all there is to it. You'd have done that to my kids. Trust me, the law would be your least of your problems. Yeah, I'll turn you into the woman you want to be. Briefly. I don't know. Like I said, it's crazy. Eventually it's going to change, though, because everything comes around full circle at some point. And I think we're getting very close to that time where common sense is going to come back into play because people are getting disgusted. And once you put people's lives in danger like that, they're going to push back. They have to. Nobody's going to sit back and say, oh, well, I guess we're just going to die at some point. And what's going to happen is you're going to get people out there that are going to go after these criminals and kill them. And I say good for them. Unfortunately, if they get caught, they'll go to prison. But hopefully they don't get caught. I don't see how you could be a criminal if you're killing criminals. You're doing the world a favor. The way I see it, anyway. So there you go, Alright, guys, well, listen, it's 9 o'clock, so... Kisses, keep it simple. That's true, Thomas. I don't think you realize that. And if you keep it simple, things do get done. Anyway, listen, it's actually after 9 o'clock. It's 9:02. We've been on here forever. So I'm going to run this out. I'm going to hit the outro. And I want to thank y'all for showing up. I appreciate it. And Artie says, well, if it's proven 100%, yes, hang him. But there is more and more are getting falsely accused, and it's been proven in many cases. That's true, unfortunately. Well, the whole rape thing is a problem, like I said. There has to be a way to figure. I mean, there is ways, actually. Penetration should not be considered rape. I mean, I know the women would argue with this with me because a rapist usually does damage to the woman, internally. So it's not too hard. I mean, in most cases, unless it's just rough sex, but I don't know. It's tough, but yeah, you're right. They got to make sure that they're actually guilty. And with that, I'm going to sign off. More trains next time, absolutely. I'll try and get more data to keep the train talk going. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next week. And who knows what we'll have train-wise to talk about. Hopefully a lot. We'll see you for now. Have a good weekend, everybody. I do remember the start.